Hey, asshole army, what's up? It's your General Andrew Schulz speaking to you from Europe. I got Alex with me right here. You know, thank you guys so much for coming out to the shows. Tonight, we got a show in Copenhagen. That's the 18th, Copenhagen. And then we have the 19th in Stockholm. So there's still time for you to get tickets for those shows. Then we're coming right back to the States. I'm going to be in Boston, September 22nd. Then I'm going out to the West Coast, Portland, the 26th. Sacramento, the 27th through 29th. Then San Jose, the 30th. You want tickets for those shows? And I hope you do. Go to theandrewschulz.com right now. Get those tickets before they're gone. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. I hope you're enjoying the show. I know for a fact Akaash and Kaz are holding it down. I'm Deadbeat Kaz this week. Deadbeat Schulz in the building. Enjoy the rest of the show. I love you motherfuckers. Can't wait to come back and chop it up with y'all. Peace. Keep it tight.
Welcome to Flagrant 2, No Easy Buckets, analysis by asshole, water cooler commentary for your sports needs. I am Akaash Singh. Obviously, Andrew's not here, otherwise I never would have done that. If you're watching, we're taping it on my iPhone, so the tape is going to be horrible. Everything is crooked. You know how I do. Andrew is in Europe, selling out theaters everywhere. Kaz is still not with us. So, I am joined with two incredibly funny comedians, good friends, the history hyenas, Yannis, Pappas, and Distefano. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Yo, you know what I just noticed?
Yeah.
You have beautiful eyes.
I was just going to fucking say that.
How wild is that?
He's a handsome kid.
You got beautiful eyes.
I do.
And I was looking at your Instagram the other day. You got a girl now.
Yeah, I got a girl.
You got a fucking piece. Good for you, dude.
She's fine. She's
beautiful,
fine.
Dude. Yeah. Yo, honestly, man, the Desi community guys are sexy people.
Yeah, we got some.
No, you're good-looking people.
We got some
you
good-looking
really are.
people. We do.
And nobody's. The truth of the matter is, if you and your girl, when you have children, if you have a daughter, you're not going to mind her dating white guys.
Oh,
That's going to be okay.
I'm gonna.
I feel like the Desis at least are like, we'll bring in the whites.
They will. I won't. They will.
Right.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
My girl's dated interracially. I have never. This is my first girlfriend, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I know. But, you're open about that.
What is she? Because I was looking at the topics.
She's beautiful.
He did the research. He just went to your Instagram.
Yeah.
He was like, let me see. He just looked at. He wanted to see what your girl looked like.
No, I get that.
Is she white? Is she white?
No, she's light skinned.
She's beautiful,
which is a big deal for brown people.
Yeah.
But minorities in general, we want you to look. We hate white people, but we want our people to look as not.
But you gotta admit, white people do make things nice. You gotta admit that. You can hate us, but we do fucking. We get. You know what I mean?
And I was about to say,
we got anthropology stores. We set up. Things smell good. We got a nice, clean fucking street.
I'm being honest with you. I used to love making fun of white people, but now I feel like it's so hacky that I find myself defending white people.
The thing is, I get. It's easy to hate white people. I do really get it. I get it. But
it's too easy. It's
but if you just look around, the neighborhoods that the whites live in, they're pretty fucking nice.
Listen,
you gotta admit, we got nice neighborhoods.
This one, nobody can deny. If you went to Brooklyn before white people, and I hate the white people that gentrify, but after white people, I feel considerably safer.
They clean it up. We call them honkadonks.
Honkadonks.
We call those whites honkadonks.
Because you grew up in Bushwick,
right? But Yannis and I are not really respectable whites. Like, I feel like I could hate on the white community and I can say racial things to any group because I'm not really white. I'm a Brooklyn kid.
He's a piece of trash.
We're fucking borough trash.
Yeah.
So in our hearts we love all races, religions because we're all we all come from garbage.
Yeah.
But these upper echelon honkadonks, those are the ones that they clean it up.
They smell different. They smell like anthropology stores.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
They do. They smell like they would get. Giannis always makes a joke like wasps, like these upper echelon. They get nauseous when they hear guys like us. I sound like a fucking garbage man.
He could never be a leading man in a movie. Like, he's a handsome kid. He's got leading man looks.
Right.
Yeah.
But he could never, because...
But he also has a giant fucking tattoo on his forearm.
That's a dumb decision.
Right out the window.
Yeah, he's got Catholic tattoos all over his fucking body. Like,
one bad breakup and my man will look like a fucking convict 6 months later.
Yeah.
Well, I almost got a tattoo on my neck.
Yeah. You got the type of tattoos that looks like you did time.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what you said, convict.
Just fucking... And also, but the accent is just such a Queen's trash accent.
this is the thing that's interesting about Chris. I first met you,
right,
and you were mad self-deprecating and like overly nice, and I was like, I know that's not the real him.
Right.
He grew up in fucking Bushwick in the 90s.
Well, I am a nice kid though. You told
nice,
me that.
I knew.
And you grew up in Ridgewood.
Borderline Bushwick.
Every once in a while, I'd see a little anger come out of you, and then I would realize how big you were.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is Chris right here.
The truth is, I love everybody. I really do.
No, I don't think.
And I really. But the truth is, when the Giants lose and it's above 90 degrees, Chinese people are not safe. That's just what it is.
They're not safe.
That's just what it is. They're not safe, and I hate.
If the Giants lose one more,
they're just not safe.
He's gonna have to sacrifice a Chinese person on the street. It is what it is. No?
Somebody from the fucking Bushwick restaurant where you grew up.
Yeah,
the lady selling you wings.
But yeah, no, I definitely. I think it's Catholicism, man. Catholicism really fucked me up because my mom is very Catholic.
Yes,
I was
incredibly.
like Italian, Irish, Catholic family. But only since I had my kid and like started to realize, learn a little bit more, hang out with Yannis more intellectuals,
Right.
Not just fucking garbage men and firemen and cops who are just like, you go to church on Sunday, you can't have premarital sex. Now, I feel like it's a little bit now. I'm not going to denounce my Catholic faith, but I realize a little bit that
you just know you're not going to heaven. Yeah.
It's done a lot more harm for me than good.
But how has it changed you since?
Just to realize that, I don't need to feel guilt and anxiety because I had premarital sex or I didn't go to church on Sunday or I cursed or
So now you're a little more comfortable.
Right.
You're not suppressing stuff as much.
No, I'm not suppressing stuff. And it's just about, because now I think, my daughter's 3. So now it's like, I just think about like the kind of person I want her to see and like evolve from, your parents like help mold you. And I'm like, I don't want her to be this Catholic, person who whips herself like my mother ingrained in me because she just didn't know any better. I feel like I know, and my mom could do what she wants, but like I'm not that. I'm a different person, and I want my daughter to be understanding. Actually, I want my daughter to learn about all religions, and I want her to choose. If she comes home one day, it's like, Dad, guess what? I'm going full Muzz. I'd be like, go full Muzz. Whatever you want to do. If you want to go full Muzz.
Not cool with that. Her Puerto Rican ass mom is not going to be cool with that.
Well, the Puerto Rican ass mom, you know what? I don't know if she maybe. I don't know. To be honest with you, my Puerto Rican ass baby mama, she actually I think what I will say is we're both pretty supportive of whatever choices the kids make. So I think she would be supportive of if she wanted to pick any religion.
Really?
I do, yeah. She would not be supportive of me.
Her parents wouldn't be cool with it. No grandparents would be cool with anybody being Muslim in your household.
Nobody really picks a religion though.
What do you mean? Yeah, it's just like ingrained in
nobody,
you.
Yeah, if you grow up with no religion, nobody just picks it unless you're an alcoholic. Or,
right.
But like, religion is something that is abusively ingrained in you from the time you're 2.
Right.
Otherwise, you just don't have a real religion.
Yeah, you were a Quaker. This kid went to a Quaker school.
Well, I was Greek Orthodox, but then I went to Quaker school, But yeah.
Like the
Greek
Pilgrims?
Yeah, not the
like the oatmeal.
Yeah,
real talk. So it's mad Amishes or what? Because the Amish is a pilgrim to me.
Yeah,
it's
interesting. Explain.
Quakers are actually cool. They're
you went to a fucking Quaker school in New York City?
Brooklyn Friends, yeah.
Make no mistake, Yannis, much like Andrew, is a fucking cock. they are both daffy cocks, and they both went to fucking privileged ass schools no matter what they say.
Yeah, no, it's true.
They're fucking...
I'm just surprised there's Quakers in New York. Brooklyn got all these little weird, sections that aren't what you think of Brooklyn.
Yeah,
y'all got Quakers.
They weren't real Quakers. It was just a Quaker school. So what Quakers do is they have silent meetings. They have Quaker meeting. You just sit in silence for 45 minutes. A Quaker wedding, I think, is beautiful. It's just everyone, all the friends and family gather, and then the groom and the bride-to-be just stare at each other for like 45 minutes. And nobody speaks unless they feel like God moved them to speak, and then after about 40 minutes, they're married. It's kind of beautiful.
That is dope. That is kind of, it's like meditation. That's what it is.
That's incredibly boring. Don't call me over to your house to not talk.
But at a Hindu wedding, don't they dance around a ring of fire?
Hindu weddings
you walk around
are the
fire,
shit.
You do, and then the reception is the most lit shit ever.
Yeah, I've went to one Hindu wedding.
You ever see Bend Them Like Beckham?
Yeah, I did see that movie.
That's where they showed, is it kind of like that?
It's not far off.
Yeah.
Bend Them Like Beckham is not that far off from it. It is fucking, it's a party for days.
Yeah, I think after watching that and then watching a little other thing, I think Hindus do the best. I go out on a limb and say Hindus do the best weddings.
They invite about 900 people.
Yeah.
That's a theater show.
And a few elephants.
Yeah.
There's a few elephants at the fucking wedding.
And
I mean, how wild is that they get elephants?
I remember the wedding I went to.
My homie did have an elephant.
I went with this girl, Shama. who was a coworker of mine, and it was great. But I was the only white person there. Nobody else. Married, and I had never been to a Hindu wedding, and then they busted out that ring of fire, and I thought I was going to be sacrificed. And I was like, "What? This is what is this?" And then she explained to me what it was, and it's beautiful. It is.
Yeah.
And then they fucking went nuts.
Yeah,
the outfits are beautiful. It's colorful.
Any Indian wedding or like South Asian wedding, it's a show. It's, to be honest, it's obnoxious how much money we spend, but it's so fucking fun.
And Indians are doing very well in this country.
We're doing.
You guys are really
number one. Actually,
you're actually crushing it.
Crushing it.
Yeah. There's only 3 million of us, but we make up like 10% of the GDP or something crazy that.
Nobody's going to ever complain if their kid is hanging out with the Indian or the Asian kid, because they will probably be the smartest and most hardworking kid in class.
If you're Muslim, I get oppression. Even Sikhs, like people with the turban, I get oppression. But when Hindus say like, "Oh, white privilege, blah blah blah," I'm like, "Yo, shut the fuck up." We've had such an easy time relative to every minority
and also
in America,
and you deserve credit. Hindus work hard. I mean, South Asians work hard.
South Asians work hard.
I think any kind of overtly religious idolization, like even Catholic priests, people with yarmulkes, turbans, Muslim, it's just too much for people now. People like it's too much. You can be about your religion, but when you see anybody come out fucking really wearing their religion, everyone's just like, all right, stop it.
You mean like the Catholic? Yeah. Have you seen this guy's back? The Bible's on it.
Yeah. You
got a big cross on your back.
I was going to say, like guys like me, you don't want to see that.
You're tatted up people feel like Robert De Niro in Cape Fear. That's what you look like. Yeah. You don't
make no mistake. I'm going to hang myself in a prison cell one day.
Yo, Hindus also have a cool religion. You got like the many arms. And what's that?
Many different forms of one god. A lot of gods have. There's Ganesh, who has the elephant head. Lakshmi has, Lakshmi has 2 arms, but she's on a lotus flower. Like there's always multiple arms, multiple whatever. It's different forms of one god.
And is Kama Sutra okay in Hinduism, or is that a separate thing?
I don't know. We don't ever really talk about it. Indians in general don't talk about sex much. That's why I don't really talk about it.
But the Kama Sutra is South Asian invention.
It's a Hindu thing, specifically Hindu thing.
It's a specifically Hindu thing.
So it's not like, frowned upon, but we just don't really talk about it.
Yo, but don't you think there's a real disconnect that, like, the world should be learning Kama Sutra? Because it's like being a black belt in fucking. It's like being it's like martial arts of fucking. And like your people figured out how to, like, you just put it in and vibrate, and they come like constantly, and we're here pumping like this. We're doing it wrong.
I haven't read it.
I've read a little bit about it. It's all spiritual and positions, and you guys figured out the yoni. You call it a yoni and a. Dude, you're not even. It's your own people, and
that's
you need to learn.
My dig game is actually trash too, so I need it.
It's a wealth of knowledge.
I disagree. I think you fucking are you circumcised?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you'll
bottom
be
5
fine.
Dig game. I'm willing to bet on planet Earth.
Kama Sutra should be studied. Kama Sutra should be studied, and the knowledge should be given to people.
Are you banging out yet? You're banging out now.
Yeah.
So you're banging out. So you're all right.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I'm doing it well. What are you talking about?
Is there sins though? Is that a sin to fuck in Hindu?
No. Actually, my dad's premarital sex talk was dope. It was basically I don't even know if this is true, but he said in the Gita, I think, which is one of the Hindu kind of religious texts. They said the closest you can get to heaven on earth is sex, but it's only that if it's with somebody you really care about. So he's like, I'm not saying you got to wait till whatever, but if it's not somebody you don't care about, it doesn't mean it's not going to be the same.
It's true though.
Which I thought was good. It wasn't like overly whatever. And I had already kind of made up my mind that I was going to wait for a while. But
I think when you're like, we're both from New York. You're from Dallas, right?
Yeah.
So we're both from New York, and we have this theory, Yannis theory. It's like we're so on top of each other in this city that like there's really no room for us to be like hate anybody, because we just like, I just accept everyone, and I don't feel like you see major violent crimes here, like crazy violent crimes, because we're just preoccupied. But like if you're just in Dallas or like somewhere like in some like state like Texas, where it's like, I can see how someone's just like one day is just so fucking bored that like I'm just gonna shoot heroin and just fucking bring a shotgun out and start killing people. But here we're not bored.
Well, there's violent. You mean like spree kill? You don't see because there's a lot of violence,
but it's intended violence.
Son of Sam was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was what, 6 people?
And it's a rare thing. But I feel like there is a lot of crime that happens here, but it's most of the time it's intended. It's like not random. Some of it's random, but a lot of shit is, gang activity or beefs, and it gets out of hand.
Or you get robbed.
But it's like, But
it's not a crime. But a lot of it is anger crime just from being so on top of each other. That's why you said above 90. I didn't know that was a thing until I lived in New York. Like, do the right thing made no sense to me. Why is everybody so angry because it's hot? Then when you live here and there's no fucking air conditioning anywhere, and then you're in the subway and it's like 120 degrees and you're walking everywhere, you see like, I'll kill somebody.
Right.
But that's a New York thing.
Yeah. But I think with the New York mentality though is like we can pick out, funny things about, different people's like races, religions and all that, and it's okay for us to all like make fun of it, because the truth is, if anybody ever like my dad, I make fun of my dad a lot on stage, and I'm like, oh, he says this about this group or that about that group. But the truth is, when Hurricane Sandy happened and Staten Island was devastated and my dad's house wasn't, he let people in. It was like fucking Noah's Ark for people in my dad's house. He just had different groups of people coming in and out, because it's like hard to be racist here and hate on something because we're exposed to it. Yeah, it's just we're exposed to it.
If you go to Manhattan a lot, if you're in Brooklyn or Queens, you can isolate. Jackson Heights is mad Indian. Bensonhurst is mad Russian.
Yeah, I guess. We're lucky then that I was raised in a place where it was very culturally diverse.
Well, just in comparison to the other cities.
Oh, for sure.
I think just the way the infrastructure is set up, it's set up for people to interact with. The public transportation is so good here that like people do see each other on the train often, and believe me, that's more than most cities. You go to I lived in DC for 4 years. It's just completely segregated. Most other cities are completely segregated.
Yeah, like even though I love it, but like if you told me like, oh, so and so's from Boston, he's racist, I would believe you, because it's like they don't mix as much. New York, it's like, what do you want? We're all on top of each other.
We don't got time. You can't afford a car.
I don't have time to be fucking racist, because like if I want to hate a group, it's like I'm going to see them constantly and just wind up killing myself because I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah.
Except for whatever Chinese guy's got to come in if it doesn't
if the
drop
Giants
below
lose and it's over 90.
So that's actually a perfect segue, because y'all are like for real football fans.
Giants.
I'm a Giants fan. Yeah.
Schulz and Kaz are for real Knicks fans.
Right.
Knicks are their fucking team, and then there's a disconnect. I notice a lot of New Yorkers where it's one sport, and then the other sports are kind of whatever. But maybe I just don't know the right New Yorkers. So y'all are like, do y'all have a sport in particular, or is it just this team and that's it?
Yankees. I'm in baseball. New York Yankees. Yeah, I watch I watch and consume the Yankees. Not as much, to be honest with you, as I.
Because baseball's incredibly boring?
Well, no, just sports in general are on at night, and we're like working a lot at night, or like now with my kid, I'm just like dead tired, and like there's times where like, I try to check shit on apps, and I'm just like, so I don't actually, this is the first time in my life where I still know what's going on in sports, but I can't regurgitate every stat like I used to.
Yeah.
It's something weird. I don't know if like, because I'm getting older.
You're busy. It's just busy.
Yeah, maybe busy, but I'm also like, there's been plenty of times where like I found myself like getting into like the other day I was watching Ozark because I love that show so much, and I forgot that the Yankees were playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like mad at myself. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. The Yankees are playing and I'm watching Ozark.
Yeah,
so it's just weird stuff that's been happening lately.
Baseball season, baseball has to do something. You know what I think they should do? Because the season's too long.
We've had suggestions on the show. We said they got to fight more.
That's a good one.
They got
to have all steroid league. Yeah. I think if you do steroids, then you just
that'd be dope.
The pitcher, when they're making a pitching change, the pitcher has to sprint from the bullpen, get the ball, and pitch immediately in 3 seconds. It have to actually make it like a sport, and the batters can't walk from the dugout to home plate. Everything needs to be running.
Like all this.
You have to be moving like every other sport.
Yeah.
You can't, there's no time. But then what the MLB will argue is that baseball is a sport, but it was originally a pastime. So that's what they say. That's always the commissioner's comeback. Oh, it's a pastime.
There should be pastime.
Like
it was pastime.
Right, exactly.
Well,
it was
invented play chess. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm more on your side.
There should be like the major league should be a professional sports league where you just can't be 300 pounds and play it. And you know what I mean? It can't be a sport where you can just be overweight and be able to play.
And I think another thing would be fucking great is you would have to put up boards around the whole stadium, but like whatever, that's you could do that in one day. One player, your best player, maybe once or twice a game, you give them an aluminum bat. and you let them fucking see they
Let
can
them
get an
crank that shit
aluminum
up.
bat and
I
they
like
hit
that.
800-foot
I'm
home runs
into that.
and potentially kill the pitcher.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what you want to sign up for. You want to be a pitcher? Well, and maybe you could give the pitcher a helmet. I don't mind
Well,
that at
how
all.
about it- how about if
but
the
you
pi-
have to give him an aluminum bat.
So you
How
can
about if
crank
the-
it out further with aluminum
Yeah,
bat?
you could fucking hit a bomb.
Yeah, you can.
And it'd be
okay.
so the stadium would stop.
Oh, I'm into it.
And it would be a live look. It's like Aaron Judge has the aluminum bat.
Oh, yeah, I'd be into that.
What if the pitcher was allowed to hit the batter, was allowed one pitch that he could hit the batter?
I think that'd be dope, too.
And the batter couldn't, you don't
Also,
know which
foul
one
balls.
it is.
You get 2 foul balls and you're out. Like
Yeah.
softball. It's like you can't foul off 12 pitches.
Yeah.
It's just baseball when it was invented, like I said, it was a pastime late 1800s, whatever. It's like now, like with our phones, we're ADHD society, I can't sit there for 3 hours. I can't do it.
No.
I can't.
I couldn't sit there before phones.
Right.
Now I got my phone there. This is how I know baseball is not a sport. When the Rangers are doing well, I was keeping up. I was like, all right, this might not ever happen again. Let me keep up. So many times I didn't watch the game. I would just watch the ESPN Gamecast.
Sure.
Which is just one strike, 2 strikes, and it's like a video game. You see a pitch going across on a computer graphic. I was just as excited watching that as I was watching the game.
Right.
And that's how I knew this wasn't a sport. I don't need... If I can have just as much fun watching a fucking Gamecast, I'm good.
Yeah,
They
I
gotta
agree
do
with
something.
you.
Yeah, and the season's just too long. I think it'd be better if they instead of they did standings cumulatively, like first place, second place based on the record. I think it might be better if the series meant more. You know what I mean?
okay.
So it's like if
Yeah.
you sweep a series, you get an extra point.
Yeah.
If you get swept, you lose a point.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's like every series, there's more stakes in that particular
And then
series.
the series matters.
Yeah.
Winning a series means nothing except...
And 162 games, everybody agrees is too long, but it's just
I think-
they make so much money.
I think 82 is too long for basketball. You get short in
Yes, it
basketball
is,
to 56 and baseball to 80.
But it's all
and I'm
money.
good.
That will never change because it's just too much money. So that we can't argue about that because it won't change because it's just the finances.
Well,
but we can change the rules.
Unions can change. I mean, it's like it is too much. And the NFL playing on Thursday, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
You play on Sunday, and then sometimes they require if you're playing the Thursday night game, and they do it only for money.
Right.
It's like guys you can't recover from a football game in 3 days. You just can't.
No.
I mean, when you have a guy who's 300 pounds hitting you like a truck, you can't just walk that off.
There should be 2 bye weeks every year for each team, and then one should be before your Thursday night game.
Yeah.
See, I think most people would agree, or at least for me, the most exciting sporting event is NCAA March Madness because it's just one game. Anything can happen. You're playing the game the right way. The stakes are 100. So I don't know how you mimic that in a regular season of any sport. You probably just can't. But that keeps the country interested. You know, like the World Cup in soccer, that's the only time we're interested in it because these stakes are so high.
Right.
So I feel like we're in sports now because it's entertainment and it takes so much more to entertain us now.
Right.
You have to raise the stakes
You gotta
somehow.
adapt.
I don't know how they're going to do that, but they need to figure it out or else I think we're living in a time where we could watch football and baseball potentially like begin to die like boxing. Because what my father explained to me was like, I don't understand how big of a sport boxing was when
I've
he
been
was a
told
kid.
that too, yeah.
He was like, it was bigger than football.
Yeah.
Like it was everybody knew every boxer. Now nobody knows anything about boxing unless you're an extreme boxing fan.
Right.
I didn't even know the Triple G Canelo fight was on Saturday till Friday. And I was like, oh, wow.
Same.
Canelo,
Same.
Triple G's fighting tomorrow?
Yeah.
I was
Same.
like, yeah.
I didn't have any interest in it after Canelo's positive drug tests, so I was just like, I don't care. Y'all watch it at all?
I watched it
I
on
just-
Facebook Live.
Yeah, I watched
Y'all
the
know
highlights.
boxing? I would love to hear what y'all's
Yeah.
thoughts were, because I hear Canelo got, or Triple G got robbed, but I thought Canelo won the first fight, and I don't know anything about boxing really.
I don't know enough
just
about it. I don't even know how they
We
score
need Schulz
points.
here. Yeah.
I'm like, somebody got knocked out, and that's it. I just don't know.
They both fights to me look like they were dead even. I mean, I don't know how. That's what it is with boxing, and that's why it's kind of dying, and that's why MMA.
It's subjective.
You
There's-
just
yeah.
so you know. It's like I remember watching. I remember. Do you guys remember the Roy Jones? Were you guys alive for the Roy Jones?
Yeah.
Seoul Olympics.
Yeah.
Where it was
Yeah, he
like
got robbed, yeah.
I mean, robbed wasn't the word. You're like what like. You know?
Yeah.
And they gave it to the Korean guy, and you're like, all right, you got to take the headgear off, and this sport has to go till someone dies. You can't, there's no judges, like somebody's got to die.
Yeah.
Because that's just not fair. Because you should allow, Roy Jones could have killed that man, so you're giving the other guy the victory. You know, that was for our country too. We should have went to war over that.
Yeah, see,
there
I
should
knew-
be no South Korea.
By the way,
it should be America.
By the
from
way,
that fight.
let me tell you something, and I was going to cut him off, but I didn't. When Yannis leaned back in the chair and put his hands hands on his head, I knew something racist was coming. I knew it was coming. I just know him too well. I knew it was going to be something patriotic, and he was either going to be a fucking jab at an Asian country or the Middle East.
Well, you guys were too young for that, right? You don't remember that?
No.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I know of it.
I mean, it was nuts. I was a tiny little kid, but I remember that.
You were fucking jerking off in stockings.
That's when I learned that, like... That's when I learned that there's no real justice in the world unless you let the guy. And if it's a fighting sport, somebody's got to be able. You got to allow to really hurt the guy. Like you used to watch boxing back in the day, Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey, all that. They used to hurt each other.
Right.
Those used to be like 20 rounds.
Right.
They'd knock each other out constantly, and you knew who won. Everyone knew who won. Now Pacquiao and Mayweather are fighting again. It's like, is anyone going to watch that?
Nobody couldn't care less.
Because like Mayweather's out of money, so he's like, I'm going to fight this dude again. Nobody cares. And the first time they fought, it wasn't a real fight because now guys are so skilled at knowing how to not get hurt that. You know, and with
Floyd in particular, Floyd in particular, so good defensively.
Oh yeah,
if you're a big time boxing fan. Floyd Mayweather, I guess, is a cool fighter to watch because you're thinking about defense and points. But it's like I compare Mayweather to the San Antonio Spurs. But like, I love basketball, so I used to like watching the Spurs a lot.
Agreed.
All these things, but like, you know, my mom would just be like, "Can LeBron just dunk on somebody?"
Yeah.
So it'd be like, you know, because she doesn't know where, like, you know, that's how I feel with Mayweather. It's like I don't know, he's not interesting to me because I don't know the technicality of it, but I do want to watch, you know, Canelo because he can knock your fucking head off with one punch.
Not Triple G though, not with that chin.
Well, no, but I didn't watch that fight, but I do watch Canelo. Knockouts are fucking sweet.
I think Triple G's face is made out of like concrete.
Well, he's a Russian monster.
He's an X-Man.
Yeah, he can just.
He's Wolverine.
He can just take a hit. Like his face is just made out of like concrete. It's crazy. Yeah. I think they're evenly matched. I think it was just even, and they need to add rounds. Somebody's got to tire, and they need to add rounds, or else there's no clear winner. Both fights seem like draws to me.
So that's what I was going to say about the Canelo fight, though. I've seen every Floyd fight since. Who was it? De La Hoya. And I remember thinking that was boring at the time. I go back and rewatch it now. I'm like, oh, this was a great fight.
Right.
And the best fight I seen Floyd have, in my opinion, was Canelo. Right. He fucking destroyed Canelo. Just toyed with him.
He did beat him up,
He just toyed with him.
Right.
And that's when my main takeaway from this was Floyd in his prime would have handled Triple G.
Yes.
No problem.
Floyd is the best boxer of all time. Pound for pound.
I don't know if I know enough to say it, but Andrew's the same thing.
No question.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't know enough about it.
What makes you say that?
Because he took the least punishment, fought everybody. People say he didn't fight. He fought everybody.
Right.
He went up, he fought everybody for the most part. He beat them convincingly, handedly. Greats up and down the line, made Marquez look like a joke.
Yeah.
He De La Hoya, De La Hoya's a bigger man. De La Hoya, I think, has actually probably fought him the best.
That was I remember.
But when you go back and you watch, you're right. It's like he's barely really even hitting him. He's just prolifically throwing his gloves, but nothing's clean.
I felt the opposite. Yeah, I felt like the first time I saw it, I thought Floyd destroyed him, and the second time I was like, oh, this was closer than I thought. I thought rewatching it, De La Hoya had it like 5 rounds to 3 until the last 3 or 4 rounds, and I thought Floyd won all of them.
Yeah. You watched it, but you watched like the.
I watched it when it happened live, and then I
you watched it
years later.
Yeah.
It was just they had it on HBO Sports or whatever. You just rewatched it.
So you thought De La Hoya was hitting him clean in those first rounds?
I didn't think it was necessarily clean, but I thought he was getting more clean shots off than Floyd. I thought Floyd was always, to me, the first 3 or 4 rounds of a Floyd fight, he's just figuring everything out. I don't know much, but that's what it seems
is true. That's what he does. He kind of does. He did that even with McGregor. It's like he just kind of lets a dude feel like, I got this guy, and then he just like, you're not even close.
No.
Like Floyd is just allowing you to do. He's the best, man. He's the best. I mean, all the other guys who were greats took punishment.
Right.
Floyd took no punishment in any fight, really. I think what's his name hit him hard once. The only time I've ever heard Mosley.
Right.
Mosley clocked him a few times.
Mosley almost got him on the ground.
Yeah. See, I've seen none of these fights.
Yeah.
You know, I was just going to guess when you said, I was just going to be like Lennox Lewis. I just don't know boxing. And to be honest with you, I was listening to you, but the back of your hair is fucking infuriating. You need to get a haircut immediately. You're starting to get a rat tail.
Because we're talking sports, and that all of Ace of Base's songs and not about this is infuriating to me.
You guys got a big fan base, and I'm here to tell you unequivocally, I'm a fucking gay kid. I want to let the fans know that I am out of the closet as of now. Yes!
Yeah,
base
because you
shirt.
said out of the closet.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gay
Unfortunately,
saying out of the
You
closet.
can't get that fucking Queen's trash accent out of the way. He trips on it sometimes. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's why you can never be a leading man, because you sound like you're in a union constantly.
What are you gonna do, cuz?
Yeah.
I've acted with Chris before. Chris can improv the fuck out of a
He
scene.
can, yeah.
It's
He's-
pretty crazy.
Which one did we do?
A couple Guy Code sketches.
Oh, Guy Code shit. Yeah.
Fellow Guy Code alone, Chris Distefano. He got on it when it was actually popping. I got on after.
Yeah, you got on.
I got on season
Snapchat?
too late.
That was on Snapchat.
They really tried to squeeze it till the last
They did, but
bit.
honestly, man, I think they got what they could out of that show. That fucking
yeah.
show went on for a while.
Girl
people
Code's
really,
still going
people
on.
really. Girl Code is still on.
Still on Snapchat.
Wow. Credit to fucking my man Ryan Lynn,
Yo,
the creator.
you know what's
man.
funny?
God
Beast.
fucking creates hits.
I've seen tons of people recognize Chris, and half of them have called him Andrew Schulz.
Yeah, some of the things that when I would see Andrew like say wild shit on social media, I'd be like, I'm gonna get beat up one day because they think he's Andrew. They think I'm Andrew. I'm like, what the fuck that shit you said on Brilliant Answer? And I'm like, I'm not Andrew. People literally, I would probably say at least.
I don't
10
think you need to
pictures-
worry about Andrew. You started this podcast by saying you were going to punch Chinese people.
Yeah, but
if the weather didn't
but
get
over the
under 8
Giants-
Yeah, but the thing is, people, you look at me and you know, you look, because I just got a big Viking head, I got bitch stitch. You know that I'm just joking. Where you look at Andrew and he looks like an evil fucking prince.
Yeah,
he looks like
he
a
does.
fucking evil Jewish prince.
Yeah.
So you know when he says it, he fucking means it, because you feel like he comes from some authority. Well, you know I'm a fucking peasant that comes from pig shit.
Yeah.
So you don't take me seriously, but you would take Andrew seriously if he said something real racist.
I take you more seriously because you're from the pig shit.
Really?
I think about your dad and I'm like, he means that shit.
No, you see, that's where you're making your mistake.
Yeah, no, see, that's
See,
no.
he knows the ones who hide it. Those are the ones you got to worry about.
Oh, I
He's
agree with
letting
that.
it all
I
out.
agree with that.
Andrew
is just a conniving. One day you guys are going to come in.
Yeah.
One
You
day,
can't call my boy conniving.
one day Andrew's going to come and he's going to go, time to clean.
Yes,
And
white
people are going to
people
come
out.
in with blow torches,
Yeah.
and who's ever not his shade is going to get torched.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen.
Those are the ones you got to watch for. The ones that are, he's holding it all in.
Andrew's
Andrew's holding it all in.
In the medieval,
He wants to exterminate people.
We think a lot about medieval, like the medieval world. We try to picture ourselves and how we would be. And Yannis and I would be just rulers. Andrew would be a fucking tyrant.
Yeah, he would.
He would start to just kill women and children innocently.
I believe women. He would kill a lot of women. I
And he would
believe
be he would be bisexual in the ancient world. 100%. Andrew would be,
I can believe that too.
He'd go by.
No, I can't. This is why I actually like born and raised New Yorkers, and I believe them to not be racist because y'all are so much more open about it.
Yeah.
Andrew, when we first started hanging out, would make jokes about me being Indian, and I was like, all right, I trust this guy.
Yeah.
Same with y'all. The more you're willing to joke about it, we say that all the time here, the more I believe this guy doesn't hate
Well,
me.
even joking about Andrew being racist, I only feel comfortable doing that because I know he's not racist because he's from New York.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't joke about somebody who is from somewhere else. I'd be like, this guy potentially really hates that group.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Andrew, it's fun to joke about them because like it's obviously not true.
Andrew's got one of those like ripped, skinny bodies.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like he takes his
Andrew's one
shirt
of those
off. He's
kids-
just in shape even all the time.
Like Andrew's one of those kids where
It's
I
getting
want
a weird, this taking a weird turn.
Andrew's one of those.
taking a weird
Andrew's
turn.
one of those kids like he starts talking and you're like, I want to beat him up, but the truth is I would miss one punch and then his bony fucking elbow would knock my teeth out and he would knock me unconscious.
Yeah, he's
that's
one of
just
those
the
kids-
truth. I would never fuck with Andrew.
He's one of those kids that if you hoop with, you're right. Like if he
just
drives,
gonna
you
hit-
get
you're
an
gonna get a
elbow. He's got
nosebleed.
bony elbows. Yeah.
You hoop. Y'all big sports fans.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Can I give you 30, 45 seconds to just rant on Serena real quick?
Yes.
I'm literally losing friendships over this Serena
Yeah.
thing. You watch tennis. You're a fan.
I'm a huge fan of tennis.
I came on here.
And I love
said,
Serena.
Chris, you watch tennis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be a ball boy at the U.S. Open.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Get the fuck
And
out
the
of
court
here.
attendant. I actually know a lot about tennis, and I've seen a lot of wild shit at the U.S. Open.
What's the wildest shit you've seen?
2001.
Oh, this is a good story.
Yeah, after
This is real
9/11,
good.
I
This
was-
is when Sampras won.
Sampras, so it was Sampras versus Agassi.
Yeah.
So I was the court attendant for. So what happened was, a lot of it was fucking crazy devastation. All the people weren't coming to work. It was like a shit show. So Arthur Ashe he's like the main stadium.
Right.
So it was Agassi versus Sampras. And 9/11 had just happened, and I was the court attendant for that match, which
Right.
never happened. I was 17 years old, but the main guy couldn't make it in because of whatever bullshit. So it started to downpour rain. like downpour that like we had to like just retreat to the tunnels, and Augustine Sampras were in. It was like a 2-hour rain delay, and they were in the tunnels for so long that they just came out and started volleying the balls back and forth. And me and my boy Patty Fly Balls, which he's a fucking great guy.
Tell him why they call him Patty Fly Balls.
Oh, because he's like a drunk fireman now, and when he gets like really drunk, he backpedals like he's catching a fly ball. So that's what we start calling Patty Fly Balls, and then he falls back. So that's why we call him Patty Fly Balls. But anyway, it was me and 17-year-old Patty Fly Balls, and we were just sitting there like, you know, we had nothing to do, and Augustine Sampras started volleying, and we were just kids, you know, right, sitting there, and then they just stopped because they're like cool, they're like friends, and they were sitting. Augustine was sitting on his bag, and he just was like, "You guys lose anybody in 9/11?" And we were like started telling him stories. And then Sampras came over and was like just listening to me and Pat tell stories about, because it was just a couple of weeks old, like what we heard, what happened, this, and it was like fucking nuts.
That's really
it was crazy. And then the next year when I was the P1 through 7 practice courts 1 through 7 are like where all the stars practice. Federer, the Williams sisters, Serena Williams and Venus Williams' father was like a mean fucking guy, right? He was just all about tennis for his kids, and you were never allowed to change the ice when his daughters were playing, which is like a bullshit rule. It's like, we got to change the ice. It's August. The ice is melting. So I was just like, me and Patty Fly Balls. It was really Patty Fly Balls. He was like, fuck it, I'm just going to change the fucking ice. Fuck this guy. So he changed the ice, and then we were coming around, and the Williams sisters were volleying. And Mr. Williams fucking served and hit Pat in the leg like 100 miles an hour. That Pat fell on the floor and had like a welt.
Yo, he can serve?
Yo, he was
Richard
legit.
Williams can play.
Legit. And I swear to God, when I was 17, Serena was 21.
Yeah.
She asked me what I was doing that night.
Get the fuck
I swear to God,
my face.
I was putting bananas and Powerade. Remember, Powerade was huge back then. That was a sponsor. Putting it in, and she was talking to me. She's like, "I like your little New York accent." I was like, "Yeah, what's up, babe? How you doing?" Unfortunately, you know, like I was just like being like New York, and she was like, "Oh," she was like that New York accent, and she was like, "It's cute" or whatever. And then she was like, "What are you, Italian?" And I said, "Yeah." And then she was like, "What are you doing later?" And I was like I just stalled. I was like, I have work, and my mom's making lean cuisines. But like, I don't know, she probably didn't want to hang out. I mean, she's playing in the U.S. Open, but I do remember. But
she likes white dudes.
She wasn't a big deal back then. Like, she just was. I mean, she hadn't won anything yet. I mean, they were known. They were American, but like, she was approachable, is what I want to say.
When they first started, they used to wear the braids with the beads.
Yeah. Oh,
I remember that.
She's fucking hot in person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
she really is.
I remember watching a match like 5-6 years ago. I went to a quarterfinal and I saw her. She looks great in person.
Yeah. I think she looks great on TV. I mean, I'm a fan of hers. I
think Venus is gorgeous.
I was always Serena over Venus.
Venus is like tall and like slender, when Serena's just like all like, she's just
Venus' face looks like an ant to me. Venus' head shape is mad antish.
She does look a little bit like an ant.
A little antish, right?
But Serena's
she looks like a lemming.
Serena's body is just fucking
Serena
hot.
looks like she could hold you down. And
I just know I could handle it.
I want
already
Serena
got
to strap on a
terrible
dildo and fuck me in the ass. That's what I want to happen. That's just what I want to happen. Yeah.
Chris, reality is a suggestion for you. You just don't care.
I just kind of live life by whatever rules.
You are why not Chrissy D? Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Why not Chrissy D?
We have a finite amount of time on this planet, so you might as well have fun while you're down here. So a fun thing for me was for her to just fucking strap on a dildo and lube it up my ass. And I would fucking leave that room not feeling gay at all, and I'd go and have a banana sundae by myself.
I thought you were going to tell the Martina Hingis story. What was the one for America, that part?
Yeah, Martina Hingis fucking...
That was the best story.
She seemed like a little bit of a bitch.
She was.
One time, again...
I think she quit. I think she quit. I think Serena forced her into retirement because she knew she just couldn't beat Serena.
Serena's...
And Martina Hingis, one time, she was talking shit about Americans.
Right.
To me, Patty Fly Balls, our other boy Debo, and this other kid Otis. These are like we're like 4 New York fucking kids, right? So she's talking shit about America and about how like the scrubs that the U.S. Open hires versus like Wimbledon, it's like royalty and blah, blah. So we were filling up the All Sports, and Patty Fly Balls dumped down an All Sport and pissed in an All Sport and put it back in the drinks.
And say, take that for the red, white, and blue.
Take that for the red, white, and blue. and then somebody else.
That's the best story.
Somebody else. I forgot what player. It was a guy.
Wait, how many All Sports did she have options to drink?
She probably didn't drink it, and somebody probably took it out by them, but it was funny that he did that. But then I do know for a fact, I forgot who it was. Some player was a dick to one of our other friends, and he was on towel duty, and he wiped his ass with like 5 of the towels and folded them back up, and like with the brown stains like underneath, and just put them on, and was like, this. Because here's the truth. He's right. Martina Hingis, she was right. The Wimbledon and Roland Garros and the Australian Open, it's an honor and it's a privilege for those people to work there, and the U.S. Open just goes to Queens and Brooklyn, the outer boroughs, and just picks.
They just go to a boys and girls club.
Firemen, cops, and criminals' kids. We don't want to be there. They're paying us $8. So if you do something stupid to us, I don't even know who the fuck you are. So I'm gonna take the towel and wipe it on my balls and then put it back in your face because I just don't care because I don't want to do this. We would all get fired anyway and then rehired. Just have,
The U.S. Open is known, like Michael Costa, he's a former, he was a professional tennis player. He says all the tennis players just talk about, like, they hate the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
It's the only major where, like, people talk in the stands, and you go to Wimbledon, in between.
Wimbledon's silent.
It's silent. Respectful. You go to U.S. Open, like, you just hear people talking. Like,
we don't know anything about tennis. We're like, fuck.
Shouting out, heckling.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no respect for the game. I mean, there are for some people, but the people they hire, like, none of us care.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
So,
they may be different now.
So you tennis fan? You're a tennis fan?
Big
now?
tennis fan. I love tennis.
I don't watch tennis,
Very quickly, Serena, what were your thoughts?
Oh, boy, this is a hot button.
Yeah,
people.
It's a hot button. But you actually know tennis, so this is what I was hoping to get.
2018. This is how spoiled we are. Like, this is like this become a feminist issue. It's like Serena should be making $204 million, not $202 million.
Right.
I mean, she makes like $100 million.
Right.
She's the biggest star in tennis. Everyone loves Serena.
I would say one of the biggest athletes in the world.
She is the highest paid.
I would say it's
altogether highest paid female athlete.
I put LeBron and Serena in the same group as just famous athletes on the planet.
Yeah, you might be right.
And let me just say this to the. All right, this is you guys are gonna get hate. Mail. You guys are gonna get hate mail.
This is gonna get.
I already went at her last week.
Here we go.
I already went at her last
week. Freddie Feta Cheese is about to come on the mic right now.
He didn't lean back though. He didn't put his hands
Well, he did put his hat backwards, so you know something crazy is gonna happen.
I'm just like, look, I love women. It's just this war on like men from women. This categorical, like, the problem is men. I'm just kind of sick of it. All right, first off, tennis specifically, it's the only sport where female athletes make a lot of money. Why is that? Because women don't watch female sports. If you want equality in sports, I have a suggestion. I know it sounds crazy, but start fucking watching sports. These WNBA players are taking the fucking bus after the game. I took the fucking bus once with a WNBA player. It's like...
Which one?
I don't remember because I don't watch the WNBA. That's why they have to take the bus.
Some girl, she was from UConn.
But you could have said her name and I'd have had to Google it right after.
Exactly. And if you ask any woman to name you one WNBA player, 90% of them will not be able to do it, and that's why they get paid so little. And it's like... Actually, in tennis, the female tennis players make a lot of money. Furthermore, they're making that money because men are watching.
Correct.
So it's like, you're welcome, ladies.
Correct.
You're welcome, because it's not you watching.
And even the WNBA wouldn't be a thing, but the NBA bought it. The NBA just
keeps
bought it. They keep it afloat.
They take a loss on
I mean, women need to start supporting these players. I mean, women's sports is a beautiful thing. I like it, of course, but I'm a man. Some of it is.
Women's tennis is actually very exciting, and it's tolerable because it's only 3 sets. I mean, sometimes watching a men's match is like baseball. It's like, I can't watch this for 6 hours, but women, it's going to be over in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that the only woman I actually enjoy watching is Serena.
Absolutely.
Because she's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
She is incredible.
She's a good tennis player.
I enjoy watching a lot of them. Serena's the best. Serena is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Hands down, Serena, then Steffi Graf after that, then Martina Navratilova. Those are the 3, but Serena is the number 1 player who's a woman. Sorry, I know it's, you got or maybe you're supposed to say, because John McEnroe got in fucking trouble for being like, she's the best woman tennis player. And people are like, how can you say that? It's like, because it's the truth.
I think Federer is competing against the 2nd and 3rd best player of all time right now, and he's still got 20 Grand Slams.
Yeah, but Djokovic is about to go on a run.
No, but
he's about to go on a run.
He might be coming for that neck, but he's still 6 off.
Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal are like the 3 best players
playing in the same era.
Potentially to ever play. So it'd be like if fucking Jordan, LeBron, and like Wilt Chamberlain all were playing together. It's like wild. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just wanted to start there because it's like.
We don't. This isn't a podcast. Flagrant. Our fans are cool. You're not gonna get it. You're gonna get some comments.
Say what you want. Just put your hands on your head and let it fly.
Yeah, let that shit go.
Say what you're saying to me in the car, son.
This is a safe space for unsafe people.
Yeah, just start watching tennis. Stop complaining so much. All right, now that's over. Now I'll get to the actual match, the actual moment, the actual point. Look, she was facing somebody. Here's the deal, if you don't know. That chick, Osaka, is a bad woman.
She's the next
next one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Serena was feeling that. She was feeling the heat because they played. A lot of people don't know they already played.
Earlier.
And Serena got smoked.
Yeah.
She got fucking smoked. And if you watch the match, you know anything about tennis, Serena's a power player more than she is a finesse player. Right. She overpowers you. You know the Williams sisters, especially Serena, she'll miss a lot. I mean, they're so good. They really have to beat themselves in order to lose.
Right.
This chick Osaka can hit it looks like as hard, and she was returning fire. And as you know, Serena's such a competitor. She's frustrated. She's flustered because she knows I'm 38. Here's the news. She's this 20-year-old girl who's having her way with me. I got blown out the first set, 6-2. So she was frustrated.
Yeah.
Second set. So then before that, then the coach gets caught for coaching, which contrary to popular belief by all these fucking editorialized op-eds, it happens all the time.
Right.
Like that happens all the time.
Right.
Where the coach gets a warning for coaching. Yeah, it happens all the fucking time.
This same ump is known for being a stickler. Somebody told me this after.
Yes.
He called a point penalty on Rafa Nadal at the French Open, which there is no person who has ever owned a tournament, male or female, like Rafa Nadal with the French.
For sure.
He is the French Open.
For sure.
He got a point penalty for taking too long in between points.
Yes, he did.
He's going slowly. Fuck you, point penalty.
And
he don't care. This ump don't care.
Djokovic got a point deducted. He got a time, I think, in the U.S. Open from that ump.
Okay.
It's Carlos Ramos. He's known to be a stickler. By the way, he doesn't have a record of being wrong.
Right.
He just has a record of like enforcing hard.
Right.
So it's like compared to some other umps, he's just strict.
Yeah.
It's not like controversial calls.
Right.
It's like he made the right call.
Right.
And the coach was coaching even beyond the coach admitting he was. You can see it when they show the video. He's going to Serena, move in. And then of course Serena did move in. So you get the warning, big deal. Like I said, Martina Navratilova, if you want to go read it, one of the biggest feminists of all time, one of the biggest activists of all time, said that she would have expected that she would have got the same calls and the same penalties if she would have acted the same way Serena did. She admitted that. She said, yes, there's inequalities in tennis, but she felt like it was the wrong time to make this a sexism issue, which I agree with.
Right.
That's what I agree with. Is what we're forgetting in this is Osaka. She's the one who fucking got disrespected here because her win got completely usurped because basically Serena's arguing the call, which is fine. She's emotional, arguing the call, but then she goes, if I was a man, this wouldn't happen. It's like, Serena, no, the track record says that's not true.
Right.
He banged all the top players. And if you want to talk about penalties, in the U.S. Open alone this year, the men were penalized a lot more than the women.
Right.
And how can you call it a sexism issue? I'm sorry. And then certain people were saying it was a race issue, and it's like the other woman, she's playing another black woman.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, she's not black. I'm like, is she really? Her father looks like his name is Reginald. You saw that dude? He looks like a Reginald. He's a Haitian black guy. He's an unequivocal black guy.
Haitian is black.
He's a
you
black man.
You can say West Indian, that perception is that's dude. A black dude.
Yeah. And so it's like...
Black people look down on Haitians. That's how black they are.
They're fucking black. He's a black man. And they're saying, oh, she identifies as Japanese. I'm like, this is so... I'm like, really? Is Obama is just another white president?
Yeah.
He was half black too. So
right.
It's like, it just... It's not what happened.
Okay.
It was the ump was hard on her. She was frustrated because she had her hands full right there. And she just, right now, I think it's kind of a hot thing to have a cause. I mean, Kaepernick is great cause and Nike supported that. We're probably going to see like a Serena feminist commercial. Next thing you know, I'm going to be like at an Eat Fresh Subway abortion rally, Remember, Coke tried to do that fucking rally where they're Kardashians handing out Pepsis at the fucking. I mean, we're losing our mind. The world is over. Make no mistake, we're done.
We're done.
Yeah,
it's gotta flip. It's gonna flip at some point.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's like this end of day shit. Like the predictions and like it feels like it's unraveling.
It's getting weird. It's
from within.
It's like
everything is just tolerable now. Everything's just okay. It's like do whatever you want. And who was it? What we talked about? Was it Socrates said that, right? In the democracy once
in the Republic,
in the Republic.
What did he say?
He just said
like once everything.
Nobody respects the old people. Like the old try to imitate the young, and it's just there's no order or anything. It's just kind of
democracy starts to crumble from within.
Yeah,
and he said it was the flaw in it. But everybody's free.
In knowing tennis, the first one's a warning, right? So she got the warning. Like I said, a lot of people don't know that happens all the time. A lot of coaches get away with it for sure, but that coach got caught. So you get the warning. Then she smashes the racket. Boom. Point deduction.
Right.
That's it. She couldn't let it go after that. She couldn't. If you watch the video, she couldn't let it go.
That's what I said.
She's saying, "Apologize. You will never work in the. You never work.
You'll never work a match I'm coaching ever again."
But the truth is, what we're doing here, talking about it and dissecting it, guys from all different races, is what most people will never do. They'll just read the article, say, this is what happened, I'm Team Serena, or I'm Team whatever, and then the sheep just go.
Fam, they're not reading the article, they're reading the headline.
They're reading the headline.
Yeah.
But then
they're not even reading the article.
But then that's why I feel like privileged to do what we do and to be force myself in a way to really think about things, because it's like I feel like I'm wrong sometimes, but at least I'm not just a sheep. I'm not just reading something like yeah and retweeting, and not like if you think about things, you can start to, and sometimes things don't make sense to me. And like, I'll be honest with you, at first when Colin Kaepernick started kneeling, I was like, why is he kneeling on America? But then when I listened to what he said and I dissected and thought about it, I'm like, I support Colin Kaepernick. I see what he means.
Well, most people don't even
but most people don't think about that. They're just like, nope, he's kneeling on America. I'm done. Over.
Most people don't even know the story why he's kneeling.
Yeah,
because it was actually a Marine who he spoke to.
This is a respectful way to do it.
I mean, it's like most people don't even know that fucking story.
What's your problem?
I mean, that's the age we live in, and that's why I thought it was so interesting, because you got to actually watch the internet mob form with Serena, and since it was around something that was relatively innocuous, that wasn't as loaded as race or politics or things like that. I think it was good to analyze, because you could see like that's the problem with the zeitgeist now and the digital age and how we haven't really adapted to it, is like this lynch mob can just form, and the facts are just they're out the window,
in the way.
Yeah, the facts are in the way of your anger.
Like when we read something about
I mean, nobody cares about Carlos Ramos. The guy's getting death threats.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, do you guys
just for being a hard judge that actually did nothing wrong, right? Even like I knew it was like trouble when we read this article about it was a few months ago, an Australian comic was raped and murdered on her way home from an open mic in Australia, right? And the whole article was about toxic masculinity, and that's the problem with toxic masculinity. It's like, no. That's a rapist and a murderer. That's a psychopath who's on the fringe of society. Do not say that that's toxic masculinity. That you are completely wrong.
She was walking home in some park at like 2 a.m,
and she was, and that doesn't make anything right. But it's like, that's a rapist and a murderer. That's I don't know that we know anyone who would rape and murder. These are a small percentage of the population. But the point is that this woman writes this article about toxic masculinity. Just like I just read an article yesterday about this woman saying how abortions and birth control are a creation of the patriarchy, and that needs to change. How come a man only has to wear a condom, a rubber thing to protect his penis, where a woman has to put poison in her body? It's like, because did the patriarchy make women the bearers of life? We didn't do that. So the truth is, and there's also diaphragms.
Also, condoms suck. Nobody likes a condom.
Yeah, and that was her whole point. She was trying to say like, oh, it's always men that, even if a woman says you can take off the condoms because a man put that idea in her head. It's like, well, now, lady, you're just making shit up. Now you're just making shit up. And the problem though is back in the day, that woman could just sit there at her fucking coffee table alone in Indiana and just be like, this is a good point. But now she tweets it, and there's 500,000 other lonely people that are just like, we're with you, and they're not thinking about it. They're just not dissecting it.
The news coverage is going to cover what gets traction and what gets people talking.
24-hour, news,
eight
worst thing.
psychopaths tweeting one thing.
Exactly.
The news is like, look what people are saying, and then more idiots are like, oh, that's valid, and then that's how something
Bro,
grows.
even when we were kids, do you remember when there was no, or CNN wasn't as popular, when it's like, the news could only be about an hour a day about, you watch it in the morning,
That's
you watch
all
it at
it should
night.
be.
But now it's a TV show. Now it's like the breaking news, that breaking news thing, that's clickbait. That's that is.
They have to have breaking news.
There's
always breaking news.
It always has to be breaking news. So, but again, people don't even, like we talk about it and we think about it. I'm not saying we're smarter than anybody else. We're not. But at least what we do every night on stage is try to think about this shit. But like most people just sitting on the subway, like my own family, they're just like, oh, it's breaking news. Oh, Anderson Cooper said this. Or, some guy on Fox News said this. They don't think.
Right.
Where it's like, this is all bullshit. Do you understand? It's all bullshit. This is all TV show that you're a part of now.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that thing in Australia. Is like
I can't fucking wait to go to
Germany. They started writing articles about.
No, I'm kidding.
All they care about is efficiency. Germany got it.
No.
Yeah. Just be efficient. Don't talk about the Holocaust. That's the only rule of Germany.
We're going at the end of the month.
We're going sightseeing. Yeah. What we're gonna do, because we have the History Hyenas podcast, and so we do history on our podcast, and so we're gonna go make videos, tour, and then we'll have things to talk about on the podcast.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So we're going to Germany. But I remember that thing in Australia, and they started writing articles about, because she was a comedian, they tried to tie it to sort of like the sexism in the comedy scene, where it's like Chris was saying, she was walking in a park at like 2 a.m, and she was cutting across the park to go home. You just got to be careful. There will always be
I'm not blaming. Bitch, are you crazy?
See, now this is the world we live in. I have to qualify. I'm not blaming the victim.
That place. Go ahead.
It's like, obviously,
Flagrant fans aren't
it would be great if we live in a world where everyone was safe to walk across a park at 2 a.m. But there's evil people in the world. Yeah. And if people we grew up in a place where you have to be fucking careful.
Say what you want.
And I'm not blaming the victim. I'm saying just be careful out there. You know what I mean?
Say what you want about the Italian mafia. Things like that didn't happen when the Italian mafia was in your neighborhood. We were there to protect you. That wasn't going to happen, cuz.
So what? A couple of old shopkeepers got extorted.
So listen, you got to pay. Listen, your dad.
You could walk at the park at 2 a.m.
You got to give the Gambino crime family $1,000 a month. Guess what? Your shop is safe. Your daughter can walk home at night. Nothing will happen. If anything ever did happen, make no mistake, fucking heads would roll. But nowadays, because you don't have any more of that, it's just like, well, we have to respect this, respect that. It's like, well, people are fucking dying. Giuliani with the RICO Act,
That's
Giuliani. Fucking Satan to my family.
Yo, but Akaash.
That's Hitler to us.
He's a fucking
that piece of shit.
Italians used to call him a stool pigeon.
Yeah,
that was fucking
he was Italian.
Yeah, my dad hated him.
Yeah, of course.
He was like, this fucking guy.
But how crazy is that we live in a time, you guys know it's true. You guys know that when I said that, it could quite easily be misinterpreted as like I'm blaming the victim, when what I'm saying is completely reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
It's a reasonable thing. It's like, be careful. If you're walking home alone at 2 a.m. and you're a woman and you're in a park, in the middle of a park, it's kind of like you have to be careful. Maybe don't do that. Just because there's bad people in the world. I'm not blaming the victim. I'm just saying that. But you see myself, I'm even trying to fix it now.
Fuck that. It's not even about blame. It's, do you want to stay safe or not? I lived in Harlem before it had gentrified where I lived.
Right.
And when I was walking late at night, I tried to make myself look less Indian.
Right.
Straight up. I got on big-ass headphones. I got my hood up. Because if you see this 5'7" Indian kid walking down the street, this motherfucker could get robbed very easily.
Yeah.
They're going to assume I got money, even though I didn't at the time. They'll just take whatever there's nothing I could do. So I did whatever I could to look like I'm not Indian, and I wouldn't be out at certain areas, certain times. This is what you got to do.
It's like being outraged is like it's like a job now. It's a part.
It's a weapon now.
It's like a profession. Like people are professionally outraged. And if we were able to fix these problems and they had nothing to be mad at anymore, they would lose money. So what do? They just have to keep with the outrage.
There are a lot of comedians who, if there was equality, they're minorities, but their whole act would be done.
Of course.
They would have no career. Done.
Like, I saw a tweet the other day. This was like a few months ago, and I actually really do like him. I truly do. I'm not just saying this to be politically correct. I really do think this man is funny, and I like his movies, and I've met him, and I think he's cool. But I saw a tweet once from Kumail Nanjiani who said he was mistaken for another Indian actor.
How great was that, the way he just said that name? Nanjiani. I saw a tweet once from Kumali Nanjiani.
No, I fucking respect. Yeah. No, just fucking, Kumail fucking fucking
respect
Pushvi.
that
Yeah.
fucking carpet monkey.
No, yeah, fucking Kumal 7-Eleven over here. But he sent this.
Pakistani, say whatever you want about this motherfucker.
He sent this tweet out that he got recognized. He got mistaken for another Indian actor. And he's like, when will be the day when I'm recognized for being Kumail? I guess today's not the day. And I thought right back to my own personal life. I was like, I get mistaken for Andrew Schulz every fucking day of my life. What are you talking about? People just don't. It's not Kumail. It's not that you're Indian, or it's just people don't fucking care.
Yeah.
If you're not Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, obvious Beyonce, people just like, where do I know you from? Oh, you hosted the Emmys last night? Okay. Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
People don't know.
I grew up with white people, and I still think not all white people look alike, but you could tell me any two white people on earth are brother and sister, and I'd believe you.
I would believe
if
you,
you
too.
Tell me you two were brothers right now, I'd be like,
100%.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the
Chris,
truth.
you don't see it? We got Chris filling in for Alex.
Yeah.
Chris, you can talk on the mic if it's hooked up. Alex chimes in every once in a while.
No, but I agree with that. But I feel like it's just like, I read that tweet and I was like, Kumail, like, what are you saying? What do you
because
he
knows it's
nothing
going to get
to do
retweets.
with anything.
Yeah.
He knows people will retweet and like him more for it, and then it's a weapon. Being outraged is a weapon.
And the truth is, what we both.
The truth was, he was getting mistook for Aziz. He was saying Aziz, and then
somebody else.
What's the what's his name? Cal Pan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Kumail, you're famous now, but at that time, those two dudes were just more famous than you.
Yeah.
So it's like, and there's not that many Indian famous people, so. Those people, like you said, they're maybe not paying that much attention. They'd be like, Aziz, it's like...
Yeah, but... we live in the world too, where like people, there's nobody really will ever accept
How
that they're
fragile is
wrong.
your ego that someone recognizes you're famous but doesn't recognize you the right way, and you're like, what an injustice.
How many times have you done a showcase show or whatever, and somebody comes up and says they loved your joke, and it was somebody else's joke?
It's like
people aren't paying attention that much. It happens all the time.
People don't care.
I'll say two things. I bet Kumail doesn't say that if it's a black person who mistakes him for somebody else, because then you can't do that in this weird cuck rules.
Right.
But 3 times out of 10, maybe, a black host gets my name right at a comedy show.
Yeah.
Yo, coming to the stage, give it up for Yannis Pappas.
Chris, you know my name? You listen to the podcast?
What do people normally say?
Okay, that's how
what do
you
people
know.
normally say?
Oh, black hosts give
black
up.
hosts always,
Like,
Amash, I've been brought up as Amash multiple times.
Amash!
I've gotten Yannis.
I've been brought
Just
up as
one name.
Chris Destalopoulos. They brought me up as that once.
Oh, fuck. I never get the name right.
But it's like, I feel like, I don't know if it's a security issue with us, or we just, understand like the ego is not as inflated. I mean, we all have egos and we're all narcissists. We do stand up, but it's like, I just would never get mad at that. I just wouldn't. Dom Herrera told me one time when I first started comedy, he said, I was hosting for him and I said, what do you want me to bring you up as? And he said, just say that we've been doing comedy together for 30 years. And I was like, well, I'm 27 years old. He's like, well, that's why it's a joke, you dumb fuck. He said that. But he said to me then, and I never forgot it, he said, the more credits a comic asks you to give, the worse a comic they are. He said, because the greatest comics will just let it speak for themselves. He said, so just don't worry about, because he said, the truth is the people are going to know you when they know you.
Right.
If you have to have credits, they don't know you.
Yeah.
So it's fine. And I always respected that.
Yeah, you don't bring up Kevin Hart to like, you might have seen this guy on LOL Network.
You've seen him in Soul Plane.
Like, his name is his credit.
You know who he is. And it's like, so once you get to that level, fine.
Yeah. Right.
But it's other than that, it's like, because, and if you're going to get hung up on my name or this or that, it's like, do the work, man. Hopefully they'll remember some of my jokes. But like Yannis is saying, most of the time they won't, because guess what? We live in a world where we're attached to our phones, where it's like, comedy, you have to pay attention to every single word. If you miss one word, you miss the joke. Music, you can tune in and out. But it's like, I fully expect, there's been times where I've been having really good sets and people are on their phones and then they come back and they're still laughing. I don't get mad at it, because it's like, what can I expect? It's
a narcissistic time. So everyone's taking everything personally, and everything, it's me.
Yeah,
it's
like somebody will post a dope
me.
tweet.
You're offended me. I don't like that. It's like nobody cares.
Somebody will post like a tweet that they think is dope, but they think they said something profound because it got 10,000 retweets, and it's like, well, there's 380 million people in our country. Right. Only 10,000 so you're not cool at all. Actually, that's one apartment building.
You're a fucking loser.
Yeah, that's one apartment building. So shut up. You know, like, but people, because of this instant gratification, instant glorification of look at how many likes I get on this, people are starting to lose their minds a little bit. Really, they are. But I like comedy because we get checked every night. We're like, people may not laugh at me over my work, and it's instantly I can feel you if you like me or not. Where social media, it's like people will put a like, you know, and you know, social media, it's like, you know, the people always say like they put the camera this way and it's like this is all beautiful, but over there is fucking horse shit. So it's like it's all this, you know, it's problems. You got to think about it now.
I'm still paranoid about the park. I'm still paranoid about my park, and now like I think people are going to think that I was blaming the victim.
But I'm telling you, this isn't that podcast.
Okay,
we do we really market the flagrancy of this.
Because even if
the more you apologize, the less they'll respect.
It's 2 shots in the ball here, then, right?
Yeah. Oh,
you guys are looking. Yeah. Okay,
we're trying to hurt.
Yeah,
we don't care.
Why don't you should just call this "World Be Free"? You know. Like Meta World Peace. I'm sorry. This should be called the Meta World Peace.
This ain't the Meta World Peace. No. We about that flagrancy.
We
about that flagrancy.
He was a flag. I mean, he was
Meta
World Peace. You guys ever do like your favorite Meta World Peace moments? Because the elbow to James Harden is gonna go down as a classic. Tried to hide the fact that he wanted to elbow a dude in the face because he's from Queensbridge.
Yeah. I mean, Ron Artest running into the stands and beating up fans, I don't know that we've even still come to grips with how fucking wild of a thing that happened. I mean, do you understand Ron Artest running in and beating up some guy that potentially took the bus there is 10 out of 10 hilarious thing to do. Some guy who literally went out with his friends having a couple of brews and potentially took the bus to the game, got punched in the face by Ron Artest.
The wrong guy.
Yeah, the wrong guy. Yo, Ron Artest is 10 out of 10 hilarious.
He's so funny.
Because the elbow to Harden, when you watch it, it's so funny because he celebrates for a second and then clearly changes the celebration into a vicious backhand elbow.
He's the best.
And then he starts celebrating again and goes, whoa.
He's got a mental illness, which is great. I mean, it's great. It's
That's
great.
what you need.
I'm a big fan of Ron Artest.
I really believe you need a crazy person to win a championship. When the Mavs won it, they had Deshaun Stevenson, and I was like, we need a guy like that. Tatted the fuck up.
Dude.
Nuts.
Rodman was the guy for the Bulls.
Rodman was that guy for the Bulls. You need that.
There's a great video on, it's on the internet now. You can, if you Google like Meta World Peace or Ron Artest and Tyler Hansborough, there's a moment where like somebody fouled. Tyler Hansborough and his brother were on the same team for a second, I think on the Pacers, and it was like garbage time, and somebody like elbowed his brother, and Tyler Hansborough like went to like go defend his brother, and he turned around and he saw that it was Ron Artest who elbowed him, and the look in his face is like, all right, man, you could totally elbow my brother. That's cool. Yeah, he wanted no part of Meta World Peace.
Used to get beat the fuck up.
Yo, but Tyler Hansborough was a fucking beast for a little bit. I think he just faded out, right? Is he in the NBA anymore?
Well, he just couldn't translate. Yeah, in college he was. He couldn't translate.
Not athletic enough.
Yeah, he was. Well,
But I do feel like we were having a discussion yesterday. I do feel like the easiest transition is from college to the NBA. I think that's the. I think if you're typically, not every case, but for the most part, the best players in college can play in the NBA better than some of the best players in college football.
Like the highest hit rate?
Yeah, because I feel like college football is like you're playing almost a different game with different schemes, and it's a different thing. Where the NBA is like, I mean, college is like, you know, like if I can run up and down the court and I'm just bigger, better, faster, I can shoot, like I'm just going to make the NBA and do well in the NBA. Like JJ Reddick, he was the best player in college basketball, and granted, he was not the best NBA player, but like
he's having a good career, though.
That's what I'm saying. He's a career NBA player, and it was obvious. Where it's like a Tim Tebow just cannot. I mean, he's playing baseball for the Mets now. Yeah. For the Mets,
not even the
farm
Mets,
system.
Yeah, the farm system.
So it's like that's. I always felt like that sport, you just don't. It doesn't translate so much.
Tim Tebow did not get a fair shake, though.
I
don't know why. He won 8 games as a Bronco.
I really am bothered.
One playoff game.
I'm a big believer in winning.
He's a winner. So something went wrong there. But maybe it's the media frenzy that teams didn't want, but he won 8 games, 1 playoff game.
How wild is it, though? It's crazy. Like, if, you know, college football and college basketball, it's like, you know, that the point I just made. But like, if you're playing college hockey or you're playing college baseball, you're probably not going to make the league. How fucking wild is that? Yeah. Most of the people who make the NHL or the MLB, they just skip college.
Did not know that.
Once you start playing, I mean, it's not everybody. There are people who make it from college.
But you become a prospect.
You become a pro at high school. Yeah. And for some reason, it's just, I guess because football is like a 17-year-old kid will get murdered. I mean, could you imagine Khalil Mack fucking sacking a 17-year-old quarterback? he would knock his head off his fucking body. But in hockey and baseball, it's like their bodies kind of like hockey players really aren't that big when they take off. They're ripped,
right.
But when they take off their pads, they're not really that big. But like football players, the jump, how big their bodies get from college to the pros is I don't know what happens, but something wild happens.
Yeah.
Well,
Steroids.
I mean, I don't know. They test for it. I don't know if it's steroids.
Yeah.
Y'all big NFL fans?
Giants, big Giant fan.
Big Giant.
Yeah,
we
I
watched
asked
the
this
game
already.
We watched the game yesterday at the Salty Dog in Bay Ridge, and it was fucking bad.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
a
bad.
Cowboy fan, so it was the
It
one
was a good
time I
game
felt
for you.
hope.
Oh, great.
Well,
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott
If
is
I would have known
fucking
that, I
unbelievable.
probably wouldn't have come on the podcast. You're a fucking Dallas.
I told
fan.
you he's from
Brutal.
Dallas.
No,
Yeah.
I know that. I just forgot, and it's
I get why people hate Cowboys fans.
Yeah, I
but
hate
born in
them.
Dallas,
It's like hating
is different.
Yankee fans.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's a different thing when you're born there.
Yeah.
We're much more a reality. But like, I don't have very much hope for the season right now.
But you being from Dallas and being a Cowboys fan, I have no problem with that. If
Right.
you told me you were a Giants fan, I'd be like, this kid's a rat.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
I'd be like, I don't trust people who it's like you had Cowboy fans. I know some of my friends who were born and raised in New York are Cowboy fans. It's
Right.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You gotta
What
have
do you
some
think
kind of
about?
tie.
What do you think
Exactly.
about Dax? He's kind of his best year was his first year.
I'm very concerned about Dak.
Yeah.
I think you can't make things too complicated yet. I think right now he still needs to run. He still needs quick throws. He still needs all that. Make it simple like it was his rookie year. I think once his rookie year was so good, and I heard this, I still listen to a sports radio station in Dallas. They said the same thing, but like once they said, oh, this guy's so good with a simplified playbook, let's open up everything, I think that's when you started to see him thinking too much. I think he'll get there.
Right.
I don't think he's a smart quarterback, I think. I think right now just keep it simple. Keep
Prescott's got to have
confidence
no
high.
pressure. Like, let me
Yeah.
just do my thing.
Yeah, and then run every once in a while.
But
just let him-
Ezekiel Elliott, we were watching last night. We hope Saquon Barkley is Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel
Like, we
Elliott's
just
a
hope it
monster.
happens because Barkley.
Saquon is crazy good.
Yeah.
See, and like, there's a lot of debate. Like, obviously Eli Manning stinks now. And
I think
he's
you
just-
should have taken a quarterback.
Well, but see, I can understand when people say that, but to me, Barkley is a talent like Ezekiel Elliott, where you couldn't. He was a once in a lifetime running back. I think you can't pass him up. You couldn't. You have to take him on your team because he has the potential to be Barry Sanders. He may blow his ACL out tomorrow, but he has the potential to be a life-changing running back.
But what do
So
the
I feel like
Giants
you have
do
to
now?
take a-
What do they do? What do they
Well,
do
they're gonna
now?
have to take they'll probably lose again this year. Right now, because I know this is fucking crazy, and New York fans, we tend to do this, but now you're 0-2. Now I feel like it's over again. So you might as well just go 0-16 and get a quarterback. You might as well just get another top pick. I'd be willing to sacrifice that, but I swear to fucking Christ, if they have another shit season, and they get a top pick and they do not take a quarterback, the Chinese are not safe.
he closed his eyes when he said it. It was real.
You felt it.
It was
Yeah.
real. He was in a zone.
Yeah, it's just painful. The Giants season last season was painful.
I think Saquon is going to be good, but just based on what I read, I didn't play the game. I'm a dork. But the running back of a shelf life doesn't seem super long.
Absolutely.
That's my fear.
I agree.
I wanted the Cowboys, and we'll talk about him later, but I wanted the Cowboys to draft Jalen Ramsey and then get a
Interesting.
running back in the second round because
Interesting.
Ramsey went 5th and Elliott went 4th. I think 5th. But anyway, the same way I felt about Barkley. Yeah, he's going to be really good for 6-7 years, but you can get a quarterback for 12 to 15 years.
Right.
What's his name was there? Rosen was right there, and then who was the other guy? Was supposed to go number one.
This draft?
Yeah.
Darnold?
Darnold.
Yeah,
Darnold was right
Jets
there.
got him.
Jets
right?
got him,
Jets got
and he had a great first game.
He
but-
had a great second game.
So,
I mean, he had interceptions, but 300 yards is like,
Yeah.
this guy's playing, man.
Yeah.
He looks good.
That was my feeling, and that's why I said I don't want the Giants to be good ever, but I was like, I don't mind. They got a good guard in the second round, I think.
Well, we have the worst. Well, we did, but the offensive line is
offensive
just.
line's
It's just.
crazy.
It's a hole.
And that's
just
the
an
thing.
actual
you
hole.
gotta build from the offensive line.
Eric
and defensive
Flowers is just half. The media. Somebody has to just punch him in the head.
Yeah, he's done.
I mean, he's just
Get
not.
him out of there.
He's just. And the media refuses. The coaches refuse. He just gets refused. Nobody's talking about him. Nobody's yelling about him. It's like you have to wake this fucking kid up. And Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, what did he I feel like he didn't even play yesterday.
I just felt like, but I feel like Eli just was getting mauled. I mean, but by the half, I think it was
He had
5 sacks at the
End
half.
of the night was 6 for sure.
I mean,
and a forced fumble. He got his ass beat, and that's what happens at quarterbacks. And this is why, the more I read about football, the more I realized you have to have a good offensive line.
You have to.
You have to.
It's the most important part of the game. I mean, those guys, the offensive linemen, first of all, most of them are like Ivy League guys. Like, they're smart,
They're
fucking
smart.
huge
Centers
dudes.
are smart.
And they protect the quarterback like they believe it's like, I mean, the quarterbacks will buy the offensive line like cars and watches, like they're their brothers.
Yeah, you have
so
to.
it's like, and a lot of times I just feel like there's some disconnect between Eli Manning and his linemen. I don't know that they necessarily fucking love him.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, the Packers offensive line loves Aaron Rodgers. They fucking love him.
Yeah.
And Brady's offensive line loves him. Like, they want to fucking, they would bukkake. They don't give a fuck. They're in for Brady. When I feel like, and I don't know the inside of the Giants. Obviously, I don't know any of them. But I just feel like I don't get that they love him. I don't know why.
You know, as a New York fan, there was this thing I hated when people criticized Eli because he gave us
2 Super Bowls.
2 unbelievable Super Bowls against the Patriots where he played unbelievable. But now it's finally gotten to that point where even yesterday I found myself going like, it's just over.
He's done.
He doesn't even throw a tight spiral anymore.
He's done.
It's he doesn't have it. Like, it is what it is.
All right, guys. For those of you who smoke but don't vape, is it because vaping is too expensive? Do you ever wish it wasn't? Do you ever wish you didn't need to buy batteries and coils and a tank and a bottle just to get started vaping? Have you ever had your vape's battery die on you at 2 p.m. and you don't have access to a charger? Well, A-Bay, the new vape system from the creators of Zamplebox, changes all that. A-Bay's hardware blends simplicity with top-shelf quality. A-Bay features a super compact battery, high-capacity pods that are more than twice the capacity of Juul pods, and that feature ceramic coils so you won't ever get a burnt hit. It also has 2 charge modes, USB and A-Bay PCC, charging so that you don't have to worry about a dead vape at the end of the day. A-Bay features a perfectly curated lineup of 5 delicious flavors, so you're sure to find one that's perfect for you. For a limited time, get a free A-Bay kit and $10 off each pack of pods on your first order when you sign up for a monthly auto-ship delivery with 3 or more packs of pods. Plus, all A-Bay auto-ship orders get free shipping. Just use the code FLAGRANT at checkout when you visit abay.com. That's ABAY.com. Guys, ABAY.com. Do that. If you haven't tried vaping, but you smoke, just take a vaping. Nobody wants to be around your stankin' ass secondhand smoke. Vape, I'm going to be honest with you, as a kid with asthma, because I'm a dork, kind of smells nice. I got family members who smoke. I wish they wouldn't. I say if you got to do something, just vape. And A-Bay is the perfect way to do it. All right, now let's get back to the program. We're back. Let's talk more football. I don't get to talk football very often, like I said. So, big news today. Do y'all know anything about Josh Gordon?
Yeah, he's on the fucking Patriots.
How you guys feel about that?
To be honest with you, I always thought Josh Gordon was I always thought it was unfair what was happening to him. It's like, stop.
Completely unfair.
I always felt like he was picked on, so I'm happy to see him. I don't really hate the Patriots as much as I hate the Cowboys because I feel like we own the Patriots. I mean, we beat them twice in football. So, and they're not division rivals. If I was a Jets fan, I would hate the Patriots, but like I don't like the Cowboys and I really don't like the Eagles.
I hate the fucking Eagles, and I hate
Redskins
how good they are.
don't bother me they bother me,
good.
but they just don't really bother. But the fucking Eagles, I just fucking hate them, and I hate the Cowboys, but I don't really hate the Patriots, and I think that I'm just happy to see. I just feel like Josh Gordon has been treated unfairly for a long time. I really do.
In fairness, he wasn't just a pothead. So the Cowboys got a guy, Randy Gregory, pothead, bipolar, using it medically, essentially, without having a license, and he's been suspended like 3 or 4 times. Josh Gordon was also apparently a pretty bad alcoholic.
But even that's like just addictions. Like we got to get him help. Like if he's on juice,
getting drunk before games and stuff. I guess if you're performing, who cares?
Yeah, but I mean, like the NFL is so inconsistent with what they enforce.
That's a good point.
I mean, Chris Mullin was drunk for his entire career in the NBA.
Chris Mullin was doing blow off toilet seats.
He was doing blow,
and he was a fucking on the dream team.
Yeah, I mean his whole fucking career, and he only got sober because he wanted to. He never got suspended, or the NBA didn't say anything.
It's like, don't forget, these are grown
Mickey
men.
Mantle was drunk,
legit drunk.
Yeah, Babe Ruth had syphilis constantly.
Yeah,
and booze constantly.
Mickey Mantle, there's a story that he got blown at Yankee Stadium, like behind the stadium.
They saw that. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah,
it was amazing.
But it's like, yeah, that's like these are fucking grown men. So it's like, yeah, if Josh Gordon is fucking getting hammered and he's fucking with the, he's not playing up to his potential, that's one thing. But for the Browns, he was doing really well.
That's a good point.
So it's just like, but everybody wants the baby and people want, Goodell, and we send a message to the kids. The kids, shut up.
Ray Rice, he really took the bullet for a lot of people. Flagrant, right? That's what it's
Of
called?
course. Yeah. No, what you mean? I want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, there was that dude on because there was a video, he went down.
Right, yeah.
It was the video of, but let's be honest, like, look, man, you've been drinking. All right. Wow.
I like where this is going.
This is gonna. This
I like
is
go there.
This episode is bad for my career.
Go there.
Yeah.
I'm saying you've been drinking. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm saying.
Just know whatever you say, if it's wild, I will come off frame. I will step off frame, and I will be the one Bay Ridge boy because I fucking still have a shot.
Look, you're in a tight elevator, right? So the space is small anyway.
Yeah.
So that kind of, you don't feel free. You feel tight and restricted. You're fighting with your girl, arguing. So you're in a bad mood. You mix it with alcohol. Then she spits in your face and charges at you. You had a lot to drink. Sometimes it's just it's a reaction.
It's a reaction.
It's bad what he did. It's a horrible thing what he did.
Fuck.
It's a horrible thing what he did. But what made it so bad is how unluckily accurate it was. Like if he would have just a little higher or a little lower and she didn't go down, I think we would see him suspended for a little while, but back in the league. Because there's a lot of guys who are playing who also hit people.
Oh,
also, these NFL players, all you do is pump aggression into them. Hit, kill, hit, kill.
Aaron Hernandez.
What happens?
Aaron Hernandez had killed a few dudes.
He was a serial killer.
And he was a serial killer.
True.
And he signed a fucking multi-million-dollar contract after he had killed dudes. He had bodies. This dude punched his own wife. I mean, love hurts.
If you can't,
love hurts. I mean, they're still together. They're still together to this day. They're still together. It's like Woody Allen and Sun Yi. Who are you to judge? These people love each other.
Yeah.
Who's to know she hasn't knocked him out at home? There's just no video. Who's to say? I mean, he's just unlucky that the punch was flush on the. If she was a little shorter or a little taller, it would have been fine.
Her clean out.
She looked like Manny Pacquiao when Marquez dropped Manny Pacquiao. Just down and out.
He slapped her.
And then he made one other mistake when he was trying to drag her like he was trying to hide a dead body.
That looked super ruthless.
That weekend at Bernie's moment was bad. If he would have just left the body and started crying and freaking out, that would have looked better on video.
For sure. Now let me ask you a question. He doesn't knock
Is my
her out.
career over from that right now? That is bad.
Let's go. Let's have
your
fun.
fans better be cool.
No, they're great. They're great. Nobody can give a fuck.
I sound like a woman hater.
No mistake. If shit hits the fan, I do not know you because I have a kid I need to feed and I have a couple of deals floating around right now. And I can't lose it.
Can someone just agree with me on those points?
Yeah.
If she was a little shorter, we wouldn't be having this
let me ask you
conversation.
this question. Let's say she's a little shorter. And he doesn't knock her out.
He would have just hit her temple. She would have stayed conscious.
She stays conscious. Now, if she stays conscious, do you see that video and think, you gotta cut this motherfucker. He got no power left. He can't even knock out his wife with a punch.
He'd be like, yo, he's losing it. Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
He's gonna be my backup if he can't even knock his own wife out.
I'm saying, you got starting.
Yeah.
Rice went out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a lot of shit talk. Like linemen would tackle him back, you just got knocked out. You can't knock out your own wife or some bullshit.
Pussy.
Yeah, pussy.
Because remember there was that guy on the Cowboys.
Greg Hardy.
I mean,
it's a horrendous story.
I mean, there's a guy,
and he was still playing at Ray Rice. I mean, it's like
disgusting.
But it's
inconsistent. Is what
he's
I'm
a monster.
Yeah.
Well, he's out of the NFL
now, but because he didn't have a great year and then nobody wanted to re-sign him. But he got a chance. He got $12 million
for the Cowboys.
Put his wife on a couch full of machine guns.
Yeah,
stuck one in her face or whatever it was. Like it was a crazy fucking story.
And you see, like people could say, like, oh, that's a problem with the NFL. It's like, no, Greg Hardy. That's a person who's on the fringe of society. That's a psychopath person that has issues.
He's probably got brain damage.
He's got brain damage. Like no reasonable person, no matter how mad you get, is going to lay their wife on a bed of shotguns.
Yeah.
You're a psychopath. You're an outlier. You're just a person who's probably a sociopath and a psychopath that has a talent and is huge.
Yeah.
So you happen to be in the NFL, but nowadays people will take that one thing and be like, "This is what the NFL stands for." It's like, no, it doesn't.
The NFL, they've gone the wrong way with it. They really they caved in to first. You never apologize. Comedians make that mistake all the time.
I agree.
Because once Norm apologized, now people are on him even worse, and then people have already moved on because nobody really cares.
No.
They just want to lynch you up.
And your fans respect you more if you don't apologize.
Exactly.
You're not gaining new fans through an apology.
So the NFL should have said this, right? They should have been, look, this is football, right? It's a free country. They should have just been like the cigarette companies, right? Been like, look, it's a free country. We all love freedom. We're all free to choose what we want to do with our lives. If you want to play football, there's a chance you're going to have major brain damage and you might punch your wife in an elevator, but you know what? If you're a good player, it is what it is. They should have just owned it and be like, "There's a chance you might mass murder a whole bunch of people," and that's what
and
you
then
have.
Yourself.
Yeah. And if you feel yourself doing that, to just fucking kill yourself. That's what most of these people do. They're like, apparently the effects of CTE, like for these people like Junior Seau and them who wind up killing themselves, like it's like they know, like they've told people like something's wrong with me. I can't stop it. I'm just going to end this now.
Tony Dorsett is apparently knows he's going through CTE. I heard him on an interview. It was actually pretty painful to hear. But like,
why is he like stuttering?
He's just like, I'm just like losing my temper on my daughters. They don't know what's going on. They don't recognize me sometimes. It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah,
brutal.
But you know what's interesting is like CTE is such a prevalent problem in the NFL. And again, I never played football. I never played a down of football in my life, so I don't know the technicalities of tackling and all that. And so it's easy for me to be like, they need to tackle better. But I will say that the NFL has this prevalence of CTE where rugby, Australian football, have no helmets and hit just as hard. They have no CTE.
Yeah, well, you hit harder because of the equipment.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
Is that true, though?
Well, no, but I don't know what I mean, I'm sure there is CTE in Australian rules football and rugby and all that, but I know that it's way lower. Way lower.
The ironic thing is the equipment which is made to supposedly protect you is what hurts you because people hit harder because they're wearing protection.
I wonder how football would change, not only in terms of just being fun or boring, probably a lot more boring, but if they had no helmets, would players get more popular?
Yeah.
If I'm looking at Tom Brady's face every play,
it's true.
Yeah.
Would he be more popular?
Because other than a few, like I love the Giants, and
That's a good point. That's interesting.
Yeah, like I know Eli Manning, I know Saquon Barkley, but like some of the other players, like I don't know if I could pick Eli Apple out of. I know who he is, and I know what position he plays, but if you were like, who's Eli Apple? I'd be like,
yeah,
because you just don't see their face that much.
I have no clue what Eli Apple looks like.
I don't know what he looks like either, and
I love
I'm
the
a Giant
Giants.
fan. Yeah, I don't know what he looks like.
I know who Victor Cruz looked like.
I know what Langdon looks like.
Yeah,
Landon Collins.
Landon Collins looks like. I know what Odell Beckham looks like.
Yeah, we know but these are superstars.
Yeah.
I know what Ingram looks like. I know what Saquon looks like. I know what Manning looks like, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just a few guys.
Yeah,
and it's on the Cowboys. I mean, who people know what Prescott looks. People actually probably only know who Ezekiel Elliott looks like. Some
people know Prescott. People know Zeke.
People know the quarterbacks.
That's about it. Now that Dez is gone,
the linemen. You don't know what the linemen look like.
I could pick out one or two, and then if you show me any of the wide receivers, because most of them are new, I'd be like, I don't know.
Yo, you guys got a TV show. Congratulations.
Oh, we did. We did. Still waiting to hear the word from CBS. We're figuring it out.
Well, after this episode, it's probably not going to happen.
We should pitch a football show on VH1 about players with CTE called "Where Am I Now?"
What do you mean? Like a document, like a.
You remember where are they now on VH1? What if we did on CTE football players? Where am I now?
Yeah,
where am I
now? Just did players with CTE.
That's a great idea. Let's do it.
And we just go to Wayne Crabette's house. And we're like, yo, Wayne. And he's like, where am I? Yeah, my career's over after this.
No, you're good, man.
I'm saying very offensive things.
Yeah, but they can't take fucking our trip to Germany away from us.
They can't take it away,
Yeah.
Listen, women, I don't mean anything I said. Look, Serena, I support Serena.
It's all good,
Toxic masculinity has got to go.
Do you think you're down with
Ray
the patriarchy?
Rice is a monster.
The patriarchy needs to go down.
Patriarchy has to go down.
It has to.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You guys know a bunch about Jalen Ramsey. I want to talk about this guy. He's the fucking greatest.
I mean, he is extremely good. But you think the Cowboys should have taken him over Ezekiel Elliott? That's a little wild to say to me.
He's just fun. First of all, he's a good cornerback. Second of all, he just shit talks everybody. Did you hear what he said?
No.
He said,
well, this time, no.
He said Gronk, basically he was ready to cover Gronk. He doesn't fear anybody in the football field. He said, I would tackle my own grandmother if she was on the football field, and she knows that.
That's hilarious.
Odell beat him a couple of times, though, last game one.
Did he really?
Odell had a pretty decent game.
I
don't know. Yeah, I guess technically I don't know how many of those were actually beating Ramsey, but he is excellent.
He's just my favorite.
He's like what's his face? I'm drawing a blank.
Dion?
No. Well, kind of, but no.
Cardinals?
No.
Sherman?
No, he's on the Redskins. He was on the Redskins. He was like a
Josh Norman?
Josh Norman. Yeah, he's kind of like that right now, a little bit. Yeah.
Right. I love that, though. I love trash talk.
Trash talk.
And a lot of people don't like Jalen Ramsey, and I was wondering where y'all stood on trash talking football players.
Oh, man, it's the best.
It's great. I think it's
best.
a part
Especially
of the
DBs and the wide receivers. I mean, is there a more ego-driven one-on-one matchup like it's one-on-one out there.
That's it.
It's one-on-one.
It's part of the game, too.
Yeah.
It's like, if it stays within those lines, it's like, there should be no... it's designed to get in your head. Like, when Odell and Josh Norman start to fight, it's like, Josh Norman was winning because he was using it's everything. You're not just using your physical abilities. You can use everything that you have to offer.
It makes it great. It makes
Michael Jordan, they said, was the worst.
Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. It just makes it so much more interesting.
Muggsy Bogues a fucking midget.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's great. He was like, you
Jordan was a
fucking
monster.
midget.
He's a sociopath.
Yeah.
What was the you played ball in Europe, right?
Yeah, like I played high school, college, and then like quickly in Europe. I don't like, I was telling Yannis, it was like a fucking, it wasn't like I wasn't playing in like arenas, but I did. Basketball was my entire life.
He's the leading scorer in St. Joe's college history,
but it's
and he's in the Division III Hall of Fame.
So it's like, does that really even count for anything?
I mean, Division III, you can shit on it, but Division III Hall of Fame, that's not nothing.
No, I agree. It's not nothing, but it's not like anything serious. But I will say basketball was my whole life. Like, comedy has replaced basketball. Like, my friends from home, like, they can't believe that I don't even mention basketball in my act. They're like, you were just the basketball was your whole life.
Right.
Then I just fucking stopped because I get bored of things. And I just stop. I'll probably stop comedy one day and just fucking...
Well, listen, that'd be good for every other comedian because this guy's a real problem to follow on stage.
Yeah,
so,
he's a monster.
Yeah, if you get a chance to check out either of these guys live, super funny comedians.
Fucking, I just want to go trans. And I'm fucking, and I got a lot of energy up there because I just want the fucking estrogen to come out and it won't.
Oh, fuck. So what's the best trash talking anybody ever did to you?
Oh, to me?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what the best trash talk I've ever seen was. I went to Archbishop Malloy High School, and we were number 6 in the country my senior year when we started, and we played JJ Reddick School in Virginia, I think it was. And he was like, he was already JJ Reddick for high school. Like, he was going to Duke, McDonald's All-American, like whatever. And he's a real religious kid. Yeah. Like a really, really, really religious guy, or was back then.
Right.
And so one of the kids on my team just knew like how to, because he was scoring like 40 a game.
Right.
So he was like, I'm just going to have to make a decision. I can't guard him. So he was just saying, JJ Reddick had a sister, and he was like, I fucking came in your sister's asshole last night, and then wiped the cum out of her ass with the fucking Bible. Like, he was saying shit like that, and JJ was almost crying. Like, he was genuinely almost crying. He's like, and he kept calling him like a fucking fag, and he was like, and he just, I think he scored 3 points or 4 points. He was just and he just continuously said that he fucked his sister and
wiped it with a Bible.
He said, I'll never forget, he said, I wiped the cum out of her asshole with the Bible. That's the craziest shit I heard.
You gotta do what you gotta do when a guy's dropping 40.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta get his head.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And that's why I wish I could hear mic'd up any of these great corners, Jalen Ramsey, any of these motherfuckers. I just want to hear them mic'd up.
They should
Sherman
mic
back
them
in the day,
Yeah.
like unfiltered mic'd up. I'm sure they get mic'd up, but I want to hear the whole game.
Well, I did the show. It was called Off the Bat. It was an MLB show, right? Major League Baseball. It was like
with,
MLB and MTV.
David Ortiz.
Yeah, with Ortiz and Fat Joe was a host, and Sway. And they used to send me to be like an on-field reporter.
Right.
And there were a couple of games where I would like sit in the dugout, and the shit that the baseball players would say about other players or about like girls in the stands was fucking mind-blowingly hilarious. And it's like, I wanted to tell the people at MLB, like, if you want to make your sport, because the reason why MTV and MLB hired MTV Comics to have a show is because they wanted to make baseball younger. Right. It's like, forget about this player's charity. What he was just saying about her tits was the funniest thing. And like how they were like, there was one, I forget the fucking guy's name, but one of the guys, a guy in the Orioles, forgot his name, he was like a player I didn't know, was saying that he banged the night before, the Orioles were playing the Rays, and he banged the catcher's wife at a hotel the night before. He's like, I fucked his wife last night, or fucked his girlfriend or whatever. And he was like, if you fucking said that to that catcher right now, you would like I was listening, and the Orioles players are just laughing, like whatever. And it's like shit like that was happening all the time.
Are you the one that sent me that George Brett clip?
Oh my God.
It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Shit your pants clip?
Yeah.
You've seen that?
No,
You
I haven't
haven't
seen it. I haven't seen it.
Oh my God.
It's just, I can't even describe.
It's
just
so funny.
fucking funny. George Brett is like got a live mic on, and he's like the general manager of the Kansas City Royals, and he's talking to the players in spring training. And like, there's this one, like rookie player. I don't know, maybe it was Alex Gordon, and he was just telling him about how the night before he shit his pants, and he needed to like throw out his underwear, and like it's just like this whole story.
Yeah, and he just keeps going, and I guess it was like he was mic'd up for some other reason, but this was like an outtake where he's just telling him about how
it's
he
like
shit his pants.
10-minute shit story, and then like George Brett like tells stories like everyone's laughing. He's like, "Who's pitching tonight?"
Yeah.
Like it was just like, it's like it would be worth it to like tweet it out because it's so fucking funny.
Yeah,
but like that shit, like the talking shit amongst like Tiki Barber and Tiki Barber, I hosted a show with him.
Can you turn on the camera again? I got a call. I thought it was on airplane, but I guess not. Can you just turn on the camera whenever you chance? We're good. Sorry, Tiki Barber.
Tiki Barber, I hosted a show with him.
Right.
And he told me that like the NFL, he told me like one story about like Cleveland Browns. He was like the Cleveland Browns were like, they suck so much that like they would wait for other teams to come to their city because like they would hang out with them. Like, so he told me like the Giants came, they beat the shit out of the Browns, and then the Browns couldn't get into their own night club until Tiki Barber and Eli Manning showed up.
That's fucking
and then
hilarious.
they got the Browns in.
Oh my God.
So it's like that shit, like the Giants and the Cowboys and these top tier teams, like it's a different, like just because you make the pros, that's why guys select teams. Like when I was around the Major League Baseball people, like I remember certain players being like, oh, playing for the Florida Marlins is like playing for a high school baseball team. Where playing for the Cardinals and the Yankees is like you're in the MLB. Like sometimes the Marlins would have their like they don't even have at the time they didn't even have like their own plane. Like you would just have to wait. Like you'd be in Group C, and it's like you're on the Marlins.
Yeah, Southwest.
Yeah, like what the fuck are you doing?
I do not understand the Marlins. Like it's a Latin American city, and that baseball stadium is empty.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense because Latin Americans love baseball.
Love baseball. Yeah.
And I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Was it because what's his name? Ozzie Guillen said some wild shit when they first became the Miami Marlins?
I can't
He
be
said
that.
some pro-Castro shit.
I remember that. I do remember that, but it can't be that. Is it? I mean, I don't know.
No, I think personally, it's the same problem Tampa Bay has. I think both. Tampa Bay's problem is their stadium is in the middle of nowhere, and it's like not in Tampa. It's in like St. Petersburg.
It's a shithole, right?
Yeah, and it's a shithole. But they're going to move. Tampa Bay and Oakland are going to move. I've been hearing that Tampa Bay potentially is going to go to Nashville, and Oakland is going to go to Montreal. I've heard like there's real possibilities that will happen because they're both like nobody cares. Oakland's losing everything.
That's what I was just about to
the
say.
Raiders. Yeah. They're going to lose the Warriors next year.
Going to San
Fran. And they're going to lose the Athletics. That's going to happen.
And Nashville will be a great city because look at what happened with that hockey team. They fucking love that hockey team.
Oh, yeah.
But like a team like the Miami Marlins, to not have an enclosed, air-conditioned stadium is so dumb.
It's too hot.
Why would anybody want to sit in Miami at 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
That's a great point.
On a fucking Saturday when the Marlins in the middle of July? Why would you do that?
That's actually a really good point.
It's
I never thought about.
Think about living in why would you do that? The beach is right there. For what? If it's air conditioned, if there's some kind of fanfare, then okay. But it's like you can't just give me baseball. It's Miami. There's too many distractions. It's such a beautiful.
Everywhere.
There's coke everywhere. The beach. There's girls. Yeah. Like what? And then you're not even air conditioned. It's 150 degrees out. It's humid.
What other cities is real hot that they play in? What's a
Texas
real
is
Texas?
Hot.
Yeah,
Texas. They're getting an air conditioned stadium.
But Texas, I feel like you guys have a built-in fan. I mean, people fuck with sports in Dallas and all.
We love
sports.
Know?
So it's like it is what it is there.
Houston loves sports, but they got a dome, I think.
Well, Houston's Minute Maid Park is the most beautiful stadium in all of baseball.
Really?
I've been to almost all of them, and I would say Minute Maid is the most beautiful, and it's enclosed and air-conditioned. It has to be. It's fucking Houston, Texas in July and August. You can't even stay outside.
Yeah.
So it's like, why is Miami not doing that?
I never even thought about that. How come you never brought that? I've brought up the Miami thing to you like twice, and you didn't bring that up.
Because you're a fucking cock.
I mean, that's probably it right there.
Because you'll just, you'll just fucking somehow blame it on Serena Williams.
I went to... That's what it is.
That's what it is. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
And the stadium, well, you saw the stadium. Is it in downtown Miami or is it off the side of the highway?
It's off the fucking side of the highway.
It's a
beautiful stadium.
Yeah, but that's another problem. Well, who's driving to that?
Everyone drives in Miami, and it's a beautiful stadium. So that's not really the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is Miami in the summer is so hot that nobody wants to sit in that stadium.
What was it like living there for a year? Was it a fucking dream?
It was great. It was great. I mean, it was great only because I had a job down there, and I was like, so it made me a big fish in a small pond.
Right,
you know?
right,
so that was
right.
good.
Yeah.
So
Rich, single.
Yeah. It's great. And for what you get down there compared to New York prices, I mean, I lived in like a 2-floor apartment with like floor to ceiling windows, 2 pools in the building. It's just crazy. For like $2,500.
New Yorkers have no idea how much you're getting fucked in the ass living here.
Yeah.
If you're not doing this because you have to for a dream, living in New York, you're an idiot. You're a loser. Move to fucking Georgia.
We all have Stockholm syndrome. We
I'm
really
serious.
do. Like, people aren't supposed to live like this.
No.
It's Stockholm syndrome.
Not in America. You don't go to America for this.
I mean, it's crazy. Dude, I have a car now because we live in Bay Ridge.
Which is like a fucking... That's like living in a high-rise in any other city. Having a car.
Yeah.
We lose our minds.
Yeah, we have cars out there. It's fucking nuts.
That's like a trust fund.
Yeah. But I because of it, I just stopped taking the train for a while. And then I had to take the train one day. And I was just like, because I wasn't used to it, I got to kind of see it for what it is. You know, you kind of step out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had Stockholm syndrome for years because, like, it's uninhabitable. Like, it is inhumane. And it was like in the middle of summer too, and that heat hits you, and you'll just get a waft. You know when you get a waft smell that hits you right in the face? You're like, ooh! It just smells like a mixture of death, rat shit, and like
it's hot going out.
Somebody's ass.
Yeah. Oh, it's the worst place.
Who got it wiped with a Bible? Yeah. I
agree.
Yeah. And then you just see some guy with no pants on. He's just jerking off. You're like, this is not what people are supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to live like this.
Yeah, I try to avoid the trains at all costs if I can.
But you get used to it. Like, when you do it every day, it becomes normal.
But you get used to it. But I think it's just because you're just like this. I have no other choice. If you had a choice, nobody chooses to take the train.
No, but you choose to live in New York. That's the whole point.
That's my point.
Yeah, you're choosing to be here.
For a comedian, you have to be here.
Yeah, but the truth about New York is let's just be real, okay? The truth about New York is that really nobody else cares about any other place on the fucking world besides New York.
We are number one.
If aliens were going to come to this planet, let's just be real. If aliens were going to come to this planet, they would have the meeting in New York and they would serve Italian food.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
It's what it is.
Okay, that's just what it is.
You might be right, fam. I want to hate on that, but you might be right.
And you can debate that all you want. I said one time New York City was the best city, and they're like, oh, Houston's really coming up. It's like, shut your fucking mouth. Okay? It's like, Houston is a fine city. It's a fine American establishment. But we're talking about...
And you're lying right now. You're lying.
No, Houston is... Okay,
you hate Houston.
I don't like it. But I'm saying, like, for me to say Houston's a piece of shit, no, of course not. But for you to even fucking have the audacity to tell me that Houston's even in the conversation of best cities in the United States, it just shows the deeper problem we have as a human race, that people could just say whatever they want and have no consequences. Because in the 80s, if you would have told me Houston's the best city in the world, I would have punched you in the face, and you would have felt that was the wrong answer with my fist.
Yeah.
And even if you could gotten up and beaten the shit out of me and whatever, you would have known that if you say Houston's a good city, a comparable city to New York, you're going to get hit with a fist. So it's like my point is, like, so people live in New York. You choose to live here because we're just open all the time.
Best.
We have everything that you could ever want like that. And most people, right, they go to another city and they're like, look, if you're I'm from here, so it's like I can't live anywhere else because, like, I don't know what it is for a store to be closed, or I don't know what it is to not get food. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't live when I go to these other cities, I'm like, what, you can't get food right now? It's only 3 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
you know, like New York, it's like everything's open all the time.
But you know what the other cities have? Grocery stores.
True.
You know what I mean? You just get whatever the fuck you want for a reasonable price.
Right.
Grocery stores in New York, it looks like... You ever see the scene in the zombie movie where they go into the grocery store? That's every grocery store in New York.
That's true.
Like, people used to be here.
But if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I feel like that's a true statement.
That's in America.
Yeah, but it's like, no, but I'm saying, like, the degrees of difficulty to get to the top here is really fucking hard comparable to other cities.
Which is what makes it a shitty city.
Yo,
That's true too.
Your girl makes you fuck her missionary style a lot, right? Just so she can look in those eyes. I mean, she's got crazy fucking eyes.
Yeah.
You want to turn her around and hit a dog, and she's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Look at me. You got like, they're like, I mean, they're like green.
Oh, you never
yeah.
noticed his kid's eyes?
I'm into this.
Like not really, because I don't look at guys like that. But now, I mean, those eyes are fucking gorgeous.
There's been a couple of times where I was about to lose wood and his eyes popped into my head, and I blew my load.
Yo, he's a fucking cute kid.
He's a cute kid. Yeah.
I'm cute.
Yeah,
The
the eyes put you on another. The eyes are like, don't ever blink, cuz.
Nobody's ever gonna want to have sex with me. I'm like, he's fancy, he hot, no rugged shit.
No.
He's cute. Cute is where I get him.
Yeah, but your girl does like missionary. Like, am I wrong? I know I wasn't wrong.
She doesn't ever want to be turned around. She's like, no. She can give me the mirror.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
I want to learn Kama Sutra too.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody talks
We'll
about
have a book club. Let's get a book club going.
Nobody utilizes it.
Nobody
utilizes it.
Giannis-
People
Giannis
underestimate
likes to have
Indians.
sex.
Yeah, I do.
He has sex a lot, so much to the point. Like he'll sometimes, like if the girl is, his girl's willing, it's sex 6-7 times a day. And I think
Are you serious?
If he
I'm
can
a
get
horned
to that
up
point,
kid.
he's a horned up kid, and I
So
feel like
he's a horned up kid
but
too.
No, but he does it to a point where it's so excessive. Where I think he's trying to just he's trying to fuck the gay out.
Yes,
of
I'm
him.
trying to. Yeah.
That's what I think.
That's what it
I
is.
think that he's just saying he's gay. And he's just like, I want to have sex with this woman 10 times to just prove to myself I'm not gay.
I just got
But
to
the truth
quiet
is-
that gay voice in my
The
head.
truth is, when you look at his most famous character, Mauricio, you know he's a gay kid. And it is
That's
what
the
it is.
true me, right?
And it's the true you, and it is. Jan, I'll tell you this till I'm blue in my face. Mauricio, his character, is who he is. Yannis Pappas is a character he's created to be tolerable in society. But Mauricio is who he was born as.
That's it.
Yes.
Holy shit, that's it.
That's what he wants to be.
It would be so much funner to be her.
That's fun to be. It would be fucking fun to just be a flamboyant, out of the closet gay kid. Like, it's got to be so fun to be Mateo Lane.
Yeah.
He's just fucking fun.
Yeah.
The kid he's fucking fun life. I love that
Mateo's
kid.
the best.
I fucking love that kid.
Mateo's the best. Now, anybody who doesn't know, Mauricio is a character you do.
That's right.
She's a Puerto Rican
Listen, if you're black or
transsexual,
Puerto Rican from New York City, you know who Mauricio
You
is.
must
No, if
have
you're Puerto
heard
Rican
it.
from New York City.
Absolutely. You must have been listening to it. And also, she has a podcast called The Rigorous Podcast that you need to listen to. It's starting back up. We took a little hiatus because I needed to move networks because I wasn't making enough money. That's it.
That Luis Gomez.
I had to leave Gas Digital.
Oh, fuck.
The Puerto Rican rattlesnake was trying to bite me.
All love, all fine. Just, make it easier here.
Good. Didn't want to create.
But our podcast is what's really important.
Let's talk a little bit about what you guys are doing before we get up out of here.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
We got a podcast called The History Hyenas. We talk
Hyenas?
about hyenas. Yeah, hyenas.
You know, because we spoke about it.
Yeah, of course. He says hyenas.
Yeah, because he's a trash bag. He's a rodent-resistant trash bag
but he's
from
a
Queens,
smart.
New York.
Here's what people don't know about Chris, and this is where I always get a little suspicious. When someone like you says hyenas, and I know you're a smart fucking dude, I'm like, why are you doing that on purpose?
Kid's got a doctorate in physical therapy.
I'm saying.
I'm a calculated fucking kid.
I'm telling
always
you,
just
man.
thinking ahead.
Sociopath.
And the truth is, you're not going to see it coming. I'm going to slit your fucking throat.
Yeah. If the Giants lose, the Chinese are not safe.
Yeah. No, but we talk about all time. We try to make it's one of those things where it's like not that boring ass history stuff. Like we'll talk about a period in history. Every episode's different, where we will give you the facts about it, and we'll put ourselves in that situation, and we'll talk about it from like a real, like, non-politically correct point of view on like what was probably happening
That's
there.
great.
And we try to also think deeper into it's like what the historians are probably, because the winners write the history books, like what the truth of shit was. Like,
Yeah. And we also mix in nature, so we try to find events in history where nature and history kind of converge.
Give me an example.
Like Pompeii.
Okay.
You know, like that was a big natural explosion. We did the USS Indianapolis where sharks
This is a crazy fucking story from
crazy
Jaws.
story.
Yeah.
Anybody seen Jaws? You can talk a little bit about it, I guess. It's basically they tell the story of a submarine that went down. They got torpedoed by the Japanese.
It was like a USS like aircraft carrier.
Okay, aircraft
There was
carrier
1,900 men on it.
Yeah.
And then however many survived were waiting in the water, shark-infested
For
waters.
3 days.
Yeah.
For 3 days.
Getting plucked, getting bodies eaten in front of them, getting plucked.
True
one
story.
by one.
Yeah.
The
True story.
ship was called the USS Indianapolis, and we did an episode about it.
Battle of Crete, about a big
Our last episode was Nero. Nero's
the Emperor
wild.
Nero's fucking nut job.
And then we did Eunuchs. Eunuchs is another one.
Eunuchs about castrating someone.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, fucking Nero. That's how wild this man was. He kicked his pregnant wife to death one day just because he just fucking did whatever.
Just because the Giants lost.
Yeah, just so he kicked his pregnant wife to death.
Saquon didn't get enough fantasy points, and that bitch got it.
Yeah.
Then he saw this 16-year-old boy walking past his palace, and he thought he kind of looked like his wife that he just killed. So he had his guards rip this boy off the street, and he castrated him, cut his balls out to make him a eunuch so he would have no aggression and kind of be like a woman, and married him and made him put on a veil and a white dress and made him his wife, and was married to him for 2 or 3 years, and then while he was still married to that eunuch, he saw another guy, fell in love with another guy, and married that guy, except Nero wanted to be the wife. So he just switched roles, and he was like, I'm in the veil now, and I'm the woman. Now I'm the woman.
Did he cut his own dick off?
No, he didn't cut his own dick off.
This motherfucker ain't about it.
Yeah,
I know.
But I mean, he
just wanted to be a bottom. That's all.
Yeah, he just wanted to be a bottom.
He did whatever he did,
which is whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah. But then this is what he did. Sporus, the eunuch's name was Sporus, and so poor Sporus. Eventually,
you can't name it Sporus and expect him to be a winner.
Exactly,
he's a loser.
He killed himself, Sporus, when he found out that he was going to be made to be the halftime entertainment at the Coliseum. You know, like Janet Jackson,
like the Gladiators. Because the Gladiators was like a modern day football game.
Yeah,
it was a gladiator.
And they would have halftime shows. And what the emperor had planned for Sporus was that Sporus would be the halftime entertainment, and what it would be is Sporus getting gang raped in his asshole for all of Rome to enjoy.
To have fun with.
True story.
Yeah.
So he thought that was going to be great. So Sporus found out, and he just killed himself because I'd rather die.
And then Nero, instead of killing you, he would make you kill yourself. Yeah. That's how you would die. So he'd be like, I'm not going to kill you, just kill yourself right now in front of me.
He was a wild dude. Nero was wild.
Nero was wild. I mean, every episode, it's about something different.
Something fucking wild.
Yeah, History's wild. It's kind of like you can listen to it, it's entertaining, but you're going to learn something.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it could be the wrong facts, but you do learn
You don't fucking know, yeah.
Who needs the right facts? We've already talked about this. Facts are in the way.
Facts are in the way.
You got that? You still doing the Bay Ridge Boys web series?
Bay Ridge Boys web series, where that's just about fucking growing up in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, and just seeing it from our point of view. We haven't made a new episode in a while because we got something cooking with the 5 that we've put out. Okay. So we just got it on hold a little bit, but you can go to bayridgeboys.net, check out all 5 of those episodes.
Are they still Patreon?
Yep, we got a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/BayRidgeBoys if you want to donate to the matriarchy, we call it, because that's what hyenas call them. The hyenas is a matriarchy-led clan. Women rule. They have pseudo penises.
Okay, well, I was interested for a second. Now, not so much. But anyway, okay. Yeah. Anything else? You got any tour dates? Anything you want to plug?
Just you can go to my web. Chris farted.
Lifted his leg and farted.
Yeah. That's fucking my ticket sales.
Yeah, you can just follow on Twitter or go to my website, YannisPappas.net for tour dates.
You want to spell that for people?
YANNISPAPPAS.com.net. Sorry.
Dummy.
Shit. Yeah.
You got a .net? You don't got a .com?
.net. Some fucking
You still got an AOL
I still got an AOL
messenger
email address.
You're too smart to have a .net.
I'm a stupid kid, to be honest
small
with you.
head.
I do. I have a small head, but you have a big head.
Yeah, that's why we work perfect together.
Yeah. 2 of my heads can fit into your head.
100%.
That's actually accurate. I'm looking at it right now.
You look like a cartoon character from American Dad.
Yeah.
You do. You got a big fucking head.
Like a Viking head where this is the last thing somebody sees.
Yeah, your head looks like a helmet.
Yeah, it does. It's just made for battle.
Yeah, you look like a side of a purple helmet.
Yeah, that's what I do. So, and my website's chrisdcomedy.com. I got I'm on the road and shit. Whatever. Who gives a fuck?
All right.
Yeah. Nobody's going to see stand up anymore.
Yeah, we're going to live podcast.
As you say that, I'm about to plug tour dates.
There you go. Are you doing Flagrant? Are you doing this podcast live yet? Are you guys doing it live?
We've done a couple live shows.
And they sell out.
We are, we're working on something actually for the New York Comedy Festival. It's not fully locked yet, but we're like 95% of the way there. Balls on the 1 yard line. So next week we'll probably have a firm announcement on that.
Nice.
Fucking do it.
Flagrant 2 Live.
That's what people want. They want the live podcast now.
Yeah.
It's like stand up. It's like little by little. I feel like people just don't care anymore. We're funny, but it's just like they want the live pod. This is what they love.
I would rather go to a live podcast show than
I'd rather watch this than me fucking tell my own dumb jokes.
Yeah.
Nah, you're a murderer. I seen you. I'm telling you, I hadn't seen Chris in like a couple of years. And then Christmas, I was doing a show. I don't know what day around Christmas. I saw Chris. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's a funny kid.
Well, you know what? I don't fucking know what to tell you.
It's all on the journey to becoming trans.
It's all on the journey to become. The next time I come on this podcast, things will be a lot different.
Oh shit! I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The American-born Desi Comics are going on tour. Check us out. September 26th, we're going to be at the Brillo Box in Pittsburgh. September 27th, Zanies in Nashville. 28th and 29th, Stand Up Live in Huntsville. Atlanta 30th, Red Clay Comedy Festival. October 3rd, Raleigh is going to be Good Nights Comedy Club. October 4th, the DC Improv. Go to AmericanBornDesiComics.com to buy tickets to DESI. It's also on my Instagram if y'all want to check that out. Thank you guys so much for coming through. This has been Flagrant 2, your favorite player's favorite podcast. We'll see y'all next week. God bless.